Hello, everybody. Down below, if you're here for the VOD, down below there will be timestamps eventually. I have not done them yet for Sunday. Sunday was a mess. Sunday was a mess. There were like 17 streams because they failed. It was not a glorious return to streaming for me like I had envisioned in my head. But such is life. That is what happens. Eventually, there will be timestamps here. There will be timestamps there. I actually need to add timestamps to the live stream sequence playthrough, also from right before the holidays. There are things I need to do. I'm so sorry. But let me jump to our big chatting. Oh, we are on our big chatting stream, or big chatting scene. As you see, there are some Patreon peeps down below. Some people joined since Sunday. I'll give you a quick look too at something that I'm working on that's relevant to that. So if you remember, join Wick, Spartan, Rayleigh, Criterion, again, patreon.com/subtext. A quick update on something I posted there because it's actually very helpful. That killed my music. I'll play this music instead. All right. Hey, what's up, Starslinger? Yes, it was a great break, a really good break. Let me see if I could find this. Where is this? Browser. This will be real quick. We'll jump into the game pretty quick. I just wanted to give you all a heads up on something. So this is something I posted today on my lunch break. It was a heads up. I made it available to the middle tier too, but basically it's a look at and Wick, there you are. And also hi Secret Monoface. I'm rude right now. Hi Mooger. Hi Let's Mosey. Hi Fathers. Sephiroth, the Last Belgian. It's an amazing name, the Last Belgian. Learning what BMR. Oh yeah, the body mass. Well, I'm not sure what BMR exactly is, but Hoogapug. Welcome. What's going on? Big Pig Venus. And yeah, James Clear. It's a James Clear quote. Really good book. And Lime earlier saying conquer the inner bitch. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do for sure. But on this post, so I posted this on the Patreon today. Just as this is part of technically the all access tier. Sometimes the names give me the ick, but it's fine. I just need something to call it. And so that's what it is. But anyway, this, includes it's supposed to meant to include behind the scenes, work in progress, things or things I'm thinking about. Long story short, I posted this. It's what's coming and a new type of Let's Play. So the gist of it, and I read some more details. Basically, one of the things that really stood out to me, or one thing I kept thinking about, is I really need to up my content production or video production, sort of. It's just it takes me a long time to do these essays. So Expedition 33, I'm sure some of you heard me mention it toward the end of the year that I was working on an essay. I was hoping to land in the Game Awards release window. That didn't happen because of the sort of detail I put in. And genuinely, I started playing the game, replaying the game. I put it on expert mode. It was my first time on PC. The first time I played it on PS5. And I just got so hooked into the game again. I was doing optional combat challenges on the side that I already did on the PS5 version. And I just got so hooked, and I was playing on expert, which added a little extra difficulty. So anyway, I got really hooked into it, and I recorded all that footage, and now I'm planning for that to be around the 1 year anniversary, a 1 year later sort of retrospective sort of thing. Gonna have a more pointed point, but it'll be timed for then, gives you a little more time to do it. But the other thing is I can really get lost in rabbit holes. So in terms of getting on top of my finances and my fitness, also did the same with time management, because I can get into rabbit holes. Anyway, long story short, the way that I'm wired, my curiosity can also lead to wasting a lot of time. So I need to bucket time in my calendar, and I literally have to really dedicate to working on content. But one of the things that I want to do also is like a new kind of Let's Play series. So I have a name and all of that in mind. I don't want to see the details yet because I'm still sort of crafting it a little bit, but I'm trying to come up with a way to do a Let's Play that's more in line with like the content that you expect from me, which is like deep dives. Here's a question. If it's a first playthrough, how do you do a deep dive on a first playthrough? So long story short, you will get like, it'll be like sort of that reaction in the moment during moments in the game, but then there'll be extra stuff on top of it. And I'm working through the logistics of how that'll work. One thing that's really good about it for me is that it gives me a chance to sort of like play something for content, but also record that. And like a lot of times when I'm doing these essays, like an Expedition 33 or Rebirth, I'm only playing that game and I'm like hyper focused on recording the footage for it and getting the footage for it right and like cutting it the right way. And then I spend like 6 months on one game and I don't get to play other games that I want to play. So long story short, I'm doing this with The Witcher 3 is I think going to be the first game I'm going to do. I'm going to play it off stream, record my playthrough, do this sort of editing thing that I'm going to do. If you want to like sort of track along with that or add suggestions and stuff like that, I mean, you could throw suggestions here in chat. I don't really care, but you could also join the Patreon and sort of like follow along with that and like sort of add some thoughts, or, you know, it would be cool if your Let's Play did things like this, you know, just as like ideas. So anyway, another bit of news for what I'm planning. So last Sunday, I need to hide the screen for 1 second. This past Sunday, I gave like a preview of this sort of like stream calendar, right? And I laid it out and I said, you know, we're going to start Nier like toward like actually next week on Sundays along with Crisis Core. Eventually we'll finish Crisis Core, then it'll only be Nier on Sundays along with like, you know, weekly FF7 chatter as usual. Wednesdays we're going to be playing OG as we are tonight. But at a certain point that's going to run out. And what I decided was I'm going to do BioShock on those Wednesday night streams once FF7 is done. Except now I'm not. I have changed my mind, and instead on Wednesday nights after we finish FF7 OG, we're going to be playing Final Fantasy VIII. FF8 is like this game that has been on my head. I posted about this today, and like actually a lot of people replied to it. I didn't realize like 840 people would like it, but anyway, I was like, this has been in my head because a few reasons. One, I just generally was in my head like at some point last year. I was like, I'm just really curious about like replaying FF8. I have not played it pretty much since it came out, and I was a kid, and I really don't remember almost anything of it. I remember like weird timey-wimey stuff. I remember Laguna. I remember sort of, without spoiling it, I guess, origin point for the kids and how they kind of know each other in a weird way. That's pretty much all I remember, but like all the details I forgot. But it's been in my head for a while. Like last year, I modded the hell out of the PC version, and I played about 3 hours. The first 3 hours, I was super into it. I've talked about it on stream before. I even showed the mods on a Sunday stream before the holidays. And it's just been in my head. Jess Capricorn played it last year, fell in love with it, like played it a little bit on her birthday stream this week. Blitz started playing it. Is trying to do, I think, like a platinum run, and it's like breaking the junction system in like fun ways. I have a couple friends who are really into it. Obviously, Ben Starr was really into it. What was the other FF8 thing? And then Cataclysm, who also is like another Let's Player that I follow, does really thorough Let's Plays. Like she's gotten into Final Fantasy. It started with Remake, I think. And she's going back through the old ones, and she bought like a PlayStation 1 with like the physical copies. And even at the start of those streams, like she did 9 and she just started 8, and she'll be flipping through like the instruction booklet and like looking at the art, like very detailed. She did not even go to the fire cavern at the end of her first like playthrough. Anyway, like that came out this week. So I was like, man, another FF8 thing. So I was like, I've been wanting to. So many sort of like people and creators and, you know, in my orbit have like gotten into it in the past year or so. I'm just too curious. My curiosity is overwhelming, and so I just need to play it. I haven't even watched, like I didn't even really watch Jess Capricorn's playthrough because it was already in my head that I'm gonna play it myself. So I did log into like her finale stream as she was playing it. And like I remember typing in chat something like, oh, so what did you think? After she like beat it. She was like, I love it. It's one of my favorite. And I was like, wow, okay. Like I know some of the people have told this to, like, oh, I want to go back and play 8 again. And I've heard them say, yeah, I kind of had the same feeling and I did it and it still didn't really hit. So it's possible that I replay it and it still doesn't really hit. Because my very first experience, as I said here, like I remember it being disappointing, but I think so much of that was because of like my age. And like, I just think so much went over my head because some of it really did fascinate me. Like the sort of like abstractness, especially the ending, like did kind of just grab me. It was just bold and different and interesting. Like even if I didn't love it, there was just something about it that intrigued me. And I really want to revisit it and see how differently it hits me. So fuck it. Once we're done with FF7 OG, we're diving into FF8. It feels natural in a weird way, right? Or not a weird way. It just feels natural to go from 7 to 8. So those are the plans. I think that's, you know, hopefully you guys are down. Oh, lovely. What's going on? FF8 is fun when you just go in to have a good time. Yeah, I know, like you, in particular, by the way, hi. I think you in particular were one of the friends I was talking about who like went back to FF8, you know, as an adult, and you know, it still didn't fully click with you. So you know, that could happen. Yeah, from the other side of the globe. I heard you're in Korea. Well, I saw that on your TikTok and everything. Really happy for you that you're out there and you're doing your thing. I know we talked a lot about that. And you always wanted to go out there. So I'm really, really happy for you. And that you're doing something that I know is really important to you. And really making that happen. Because I know it's very hard for you to sort of like make that happen with everything that was going on for you. So yeah, it's great. I'm desk warming now. So lots of free time. Cool. Let me see the other comments. I remember that everything levels with you. Oh yeah, the level scaling. Yeah. I put it on sale over Christmas. Haven't played it yet. Would be keen to play along with suggested mods. There's a lot of really cool mods that like make it look really beautiful. Iron Beats on Worm. What's going on? What else is there? Yeah, so let's revisit the story. Just didn't get it as a kid. Yeah, a lot of people don't. It's a very like, it's not only abstract, but also the time stuff that happens, everything with Laguna is it's a very choppy narrative from what I remember, but I'm also a lot more used to those sorts of stories. So maybe it might hit different. I don't know. We will see. Maybe like halfway through, I'm like, this was a mistake. But I think it'll be cool. The only thing I'm worried about is like, if it'll be really long, you know, if I'm playing it like once a week, like how long it'll take, because it's 4 discs. Yeah. No touch trigger though, because it's no longer supported. Oh, okay. I mean, you're usually more of a YouTube person, weren't you, Lily? Very Ojima coded from what I hear, which interests me. 8 isn't a masterpiece anything, but Junction System is fun, and frankly, it's a prime meme material. Yeah, I remember like I watched some of your like video playthrough, so like I caught like bits and pieces of it, because yours is like super heavily edited too, so I didn't like catch a lot of story. I just remember like a lot of moments for like laughter, which I don't remember the humor that well. Obviously Triple Triad, I remember. So I want to check out Triple Triad, or like get good at it again. Like I remember when I played like the 3 or so hours last year after I modded it, I was getting my ass whooped by like everybody in Triple Triad in the Balam Garden. Like, you have really crap cards. And everyone, even at the very beginning, has really good cards. It was unfair. It was like, what the hell? I can't win. I think I won like 1 match, and then like just got stomped. Because people with cards, people had like 7s. I had like cards with like 3 1s and a 2. And there's like 6, 7, 8, 9. I'm like, Jesus, how am I supposed to beat this Ifrit? Yeah. I think 8 is the best streaming experience I ever had. Just a ton of laughs, super great memories. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to it. That actually like makes me feel even better that like it'll be a good time. Remember being pretty long, but you hammer out some serious streams, you got it. Yeah, the only difference is like my Wednesday streams are shorter because it's like weeknight, so it's like after work, so it's usually only about 3.5 hours. Speaking of, we should probably start up 7 because we don't have a ton of time. Open up the 7th heaven thingamabob. Oh my god, all these mods have updates. All right, give me 1 second, chat. Need to update the mods. Shinra Archeology mod always has an update. Like every week feels like it has an update. Hey, what's up, Circle's Hammer? Why do you guys update your mods so much? Every time I open up 7th Heaven Mod Manager, I have to update Shinra Archeology Cut. What is going on? You know it's a 30-year-old game, right? There's not that much to... I thought you did all that adding already. All right. Well, I think it's almost... Oh, shit. Hit the wrong thing. Okay, we'll go here. We gotta hook up the Qhimm. Just to like... I like to have it make sure that it's OG, that people know it's OG. OG night. To be fair, it's been a few weeks. Yeah, true. Honestly, you can ignore them unless we tell you to. It's mostly really obscure updates and I update everything except OBS. That's my... Except OBS and Windows. When it comes to like things that need updates, if it's OBS, if it's Windows, I try not to. I try to delay as long as possible because odds are something will go funky. But otherwise, some say you're streaming RE9. No. I don't think I'll stream RE9. I'm not a huge Resident Evil fan. I did buy like all the RE games on the during Black Friday like sales because I've only ever really played some of the older ones. Like I played on PlayStation 1, like RE2, RE3. I never really played too much Resident Evil. And then like usually I would just like watch a playthrough because I still really like them, but sometimes I didn't really like the whole like I gotta shoot a zombie and then run past a zombie thing. So like the actual survival part of the survival horror. So I would mostly just like watch like a Max or someone play. So I've seen a lot of the games, but I haven't played a lot of them. Like I've watched full playthroughs, but I haven't really played a lot of them myself. So no, I'll probably like, now that I have all of them, I might play it before I watch a playthrough, but I also kind of want to be caught up. So I might watch Max's playthrough. It's just fun too to watch it. OBS updates screw me 100% of the time, yeah. Oh my god, the co-pilot. Oh my god, all the AI shit on everything. Especially fucking Twitter. With this AI shit, like undressing women and shit. Looks like it actually makes me like a bit... Like I know Shinra Arch dropped off of it completely. And I'm not against it, you know? It definitely makes me think about it. Yeah. It's definitely bullshit, and it's like the worst platform. I guess I'm still technically on sometimes, but anyway. All right. Where were we? Where's the last save? Was it it must have been the high one right here. Level 56. That makes sense. Yeah. So this is after a live stream sequence. I think it'd be interesting to learn about the bits of making FF8, trying to follow up FF7 to be daunting. What do you mean exactly? To learn about the behind the scenes of the making of FF8. There isn't much out there, I don't think. I don't know, the Shinra Arch guys might know. I know they've collected some FF8 stuff. But yeah, 8 is sort of like the talked about, underappreciated middle child of the PS1 era Final Fantasy games. Like reputationally, like popularity wise. Just want to make sure the sound levels make sense. Volume mixer. Yeah, the game sounds good for you guys, right? Because it's only a 2 on my volume mixer, but it still sounds loud. So, like this game, for whatever reason, is like crazy loud. But it's literally a 2 out of 100 on the slider, the sound slider. Shit. I guess I got something to Sid. Good on your end, okay. I finally get what a pain it is to be leader. Always losing track of who's got which materia. All right, not you. That's it. All right, let's head out. It's been a while, so a lot of you may not have seen like all these, like this world mod. I'll just continue to look at this fucking world mod every day that I'm in this game. Like, how incredible is that? Just to really see it as a globe, like as a planet, it's just so immersive. Hey, what's up to Shore? I do think I think of all the FF titles, 8 is the one that could have benefited most from the remakes. To be honest, we've talked about this slowly on stream. Like, I think somebody asked me about it. I don't know, one of the recent streams. And I mentioned 8 because I feel like 10 is like 10's incredible, sort of like as it is. You know, like I just don't think it would benefit from a remake at all. I really don't. I really don't think 10, like 10, maybe at most like a remaster, which I think they've already done. So I don't know. 10's vibe feels like it doesn't even really feel that old. Like whenever I haven't played it in a long time, but like every time I've seen playthroughs and stuff, it doesn't feel that old. Like FF7 feels archaic at times to play. You know, just in terms of like, a lot of like little details. It's still charming and fun, and obviously this is modded to hell, but and 9, I also don't feel like needs a lot of mods. Like I feel like 9 has such a charm to like the storybook sense of it. Like the literal like storybook look of like a lot of the maps, like the forced perspective and the sort of like storybook look of it. Like it don't really need 9 remade, but and who knows, maybe it got canceled from what we've heard in rumors. It's funny because a lot of additions in 7 remake feels very 8. Yeah, like the time stuff for sure, and Laguna sort of style stuff with Zack is very 8, for sure. I think we watched a video too that like made some comparisons to Ultimisia's plans with like Sephiroth's current plans. Didn't 10 remaster ruin the art style? From what I heard, yeah, Tidus' face. There is apparently a really good mod for the remastered FF10 where you could basically get Tidus' face in skin tone back, which is good. Oh, actually, shit. That's right. We can check out the Zack scene. What is this old ass game? I forgot. We can check out the Zack scene. FF9 is a really good mod that makes it look great and fixes FPS issues. Ooh. Yeah, like I would be down for that version of FF9 for sure. Is that the Maguri one? Is that the Maguri mod, or is the Maguri mod something else? Because I know there was something that was basically like kind of a fan remake that had like 3D graphics and all that. But it wasn't even playable, it was like a video. Look at the spirality of that staircase, yeah. Back when Square Enix had integrity and had spiral staircases. Look at this. Beautiful, beautiful spiral staircase, bastardized by its removal in FF7 Rebirth. Just a sin. I'm not gonna lie, still angry. We can truly explore the dimension. Oh, Lully. You're gonna have to watch something. I'm gonna have to load it up. I went on a heated rant about this during my Rebirth stream. And it's one of the few streams that I've actually edited. And so now you've inspired that. Give me 1 second. I need to, while we have the staircase, everyone knows it's a bit of a meme in this community. Fuck it, let's watch it. It pissed me off so much. Where is it? Go to my channel. Live? No, not live. Videos. This one. Okay, now I need to change the source here. Okay. He blocks. Look at Sephiroth. I'm a little meta right now, but where is it? Actually, might be better in the full screen react. Here we go. So it's not two of me back to back. Where was it? Here it is. Okay. Okay, there's something we need to talk about here. First of all, travesty. Like, it's fine if they block this off. Hello, Thema. It's fine if they block this off in the flashback, but I really hoped that in the return to Nibelheim that this second floor would be explorable. It's not. And that really, the staircase of lies, bugged me. Other thing. So when I first played this game, so you want to hear my, like, what I really wanted? I was hoping that this elevator was a faulty memory fake out, like, because Cloud didn't actually go in here and do this. He just assumed there was an elevator. And then when you go back to Nibelheim, you would go down the spiral staircase because now you're actually experiencing what the mansion is in reality. Objectively better idea. Anyway, and they didn't do that, but they should have done it. It would have been 10 times better. And the exclusion of the spiral staircase here is an absolute travesty, and I will never forgive the developers for it. Even I've met them. I've stood next to Hamaguchi and taken a picture with the man. And you know what? I'm just too darn kind, because I should have told him, it's a great game, but what the fuck, bro? I should have mentioned it. I didn't. I had my opportunity face to face and I didn't take it. And that really lives with me now. I didn't stand up for the people. Thema, my hot take is Dirge of Cerberus had the best iteration of the Shinra Manor outside besides the OG. I don't. Yeah, you're still pissed that in Temple of the Ancients they have the big spiral staircase to rub it in our face. I remember that. It's true, but I would imagine you are correct. Like, because it's absolute fucking shit here. If we're just being completely honest. Like, this is fucking trash. But, you know, it's pretty good. Like, and I'm sure it's great by comparison. And by the way, this thing, can you see this door? It's a little dark on my screen. Do you see this fucking door right here? And it's like blocked off. So yeah, so at the end of the manor, like on the first floor, this giant door that they could have put a spiral staircase. Anyway, I say it here. You're telling me you can't fit a spiral staircase on the other side of that door? They're like, oh, the space is kind of confined. We can't make the spiral staircase. Look at this door. It's the size of like 4 clouds across. That seems like it opens up to a pretty big area. I'll speed myself up. I fit a spiral staircase in there. So again, I just wholly reject their excuses for no spiral staircase. And they replace it with a fucking elevator. So yes, we lost our artistic descent into madness. What do we got to do to get a little poetic symbolism around here? It gets worse, Lily. Look at this. Watch. I will never forgive them for that. I will make a 2-hour video explaining the creative virtue of this game as a whole and the trilogy, but I will not defend the goddamn staircase. And look at this. This is like an insult. This little fake half spiral. What the? Look at this shit. This is like rubbing our face in it. They're like, here's what could have been the very end of it, but you're not going to get it now. God damn it. Pisses me off. Unreal Engine 4 can't do spiral staircases. It's just like, what the fuck? Anyway. That was a worthwhile side quest. I'm always here to rant about the manor. Like, it's the manor. It's also, oh my god, the other thing in the manor that we've talked about also on stream, sorry, I'm ranting, is the fact that, like, we talked about this during the playthrough too, but like, you get down there. Why? Oh my god, Barrett's like on the verge of death. But you get down there, and you get down there. Who has cure? You get down there, and Barrett has cure. Sorry. Struggling to process thoughts at the same time. You get down there, and you can't talk to anybody. Like, once the party is down there, when you go back and you visit Nibelheim, the whole party goes down there. Everybody's all throughout the library, and you can't talk to anybody. There's no, like, notebooks you can read. They obviously were huge in the OG. Gives, like, context for Zack and Cloud, and what happens to the experiments. Just the foreshadowing of that, or like the tease of that, just completely gone. Like, of all the locations for like such a right place for the party to be, oh my god, this is where shit went down. Like, I can't believe it. Oh, did you see this journal entry? It's kind of weird, kind of interesting. There's so much they could have done, and they had the little SL Sephiroth room where, you know, that's the new bit, but crazy. It did nothing with this location. Lost much of the dread, yeah. Not a perfect game. Rebirth's not a perfect game. I don't know if you've, a lot of people here, I just don't know if Lily has, but, you know, I had this 2-hour video that, like, gets into a lot of depth, and there are just certain parts that still, you know, I think everyone here would agree is just a little bit of a miss, for sure. When it came to, I was in the white room, the light was blinding. Number 0048, type YM, subject ID 397808. Oh, the Shinra Arch Cut has some, like, are these added things? I don't know if Turk is still in chat, but are these added things, or are they retranslation stuff? This feels new. Fascinating. Okay. Oh, this is new. What? Whose voice was it? This is an early material. Ooh. That's right. Hojo's. And how about you? Your Mako eyes have come in beautifully. Can you speak? Do you feel anything? Can you hear someone's voice calling out to you? I should have, if I had at all known about this, I should have, like, promoted the stream based on this. I did not realize this would be different. Can you hear someone's voice calling out to you? Do you feel the urge to go somewhere? I want to go back. Oh, that's probably me. I want to go back home. Mom, Tifa. Imagine that in Hojo's voice. This one's a failure. I suppose I'll dump him in the mountains somewhere. How long until we get the Shinra Arch Rebirth cut? Who knows? Lots of love, but a lot of learning problems, yeah. We get to live in the cope before part 3 and pretend they're gonna make the mansion a big part of something. Don't. Just don't. They're not gonna do anything with the mansion now. It's too late. They fumbled it. Unless you get to go... They have to add something to going back, right? Like, when you go back in part 3, it's probably not going to be a cutscene like this, because maybe they just do. Maybe they do a cutscene like this. They gotta have like a memory flash when you go back, right? That's part of the legacy. I know you kind of don't need it now because of Crisis Core, but hopefully they recreate it. Well, who knows? Because they botched the rest of the manor. It would make sense. Hey, what's up, Grant? What's going on? Still the opinion that most of Part 3 won't be the same series of events. Well, we're going to talk about that tonight for sure, because there's so much that happens even in this section of the game that I just don't know how they recreate. Like, huge materia, we'll see it when we get to Junon Reactor, but like the huge materia is like literally transferable through a submarine or a spaceship when we get to Rocket Town. It was a materia that was slightly larger, and now it's actually seemingly attached to weapons. Like it's like weapon size, like it's like building sized. So I don't know. They can't really recreate that exactly. We'll talk about it. Here we go. Change into this. Might smell bad, but desperate times. Looks pretty good on you. Now then. The huge material part would be interesting. That was one of the weaker parts of the OG. 100%. That's why, like, the title of this stream is, like, from filler to thriller, right? Like, could they, mostly just because it rhymed, but could they do something cool with this part of the OG that does feel a bit like filler? Not this part, but, like, the Junon Reactor, which they've already started, like, setting up a lot more with Junon Reactor. There's a lot more lore to it, a lot more of, like, the history of Junon and Shinra, and what happened to that segment of Junon that's now just like sunken underneath the water. There's like a lot more that they have already started to set up that they could do with, at least in terms of like as an area. Story-wise, I don't really know, but yo, Pops, how far to Midgar? Shut it back there. Just be thankful I gave you a lift. Submarine exploration leads to sunken cities, a dungeon, yeah. Well, they already said that it's like filled with treasure and all that stuff. Well, what do you do once we get to Midgar? Me, I got connections all over town. And probably count on them to put me up. Oh, but girls that age always live with their parents. Guess that's out. I forget what the original translation was, but it's sort of, this makes more sense than that was. I just remember him talking a little bit, like the words he used being a little either stranger or like more insensitive or even fuckboy. Yeah, guess that's out. Oh yeah, the mom's still there. It was awkward, worded kind of awkwardly, yeah. He was like, yeah, the mom's still there. Which is essentially the same thing, but it almost sounds like, oh, I can't go there because the mom's there, and I don't know. It sounds a little more suggestive in a way. Gonna need a new battle plan. Well, no matter what I do, I'm gonna need money. Maybe I should start a business. Hey, Cloud, what line of work do you think I'd be good at? How about you, Pops? Got any business ideas? It's all Myra forever. What are you yapping about? You're still young, ain't you? Don't lock yourself down. Try a little bit of everything. Get out there and suffer till you find your calling. God, this like part of it. I really do feel my age a little bit. Because I would always hear this stuff when I was like 21, like Zack too. And be like, are you kidding me? Like, even I felt like 20s, like early 20s. It's like, I gotta be locked in. Like, if I'm not like locked in by like the anime 20s, or, you know, if I don't have it sorted out, like I feel like I'm running out of time, you know? And now that I'm past that, I'm not gonna say by how much, but now that I'm past that, I'm like, yeah, that is super young. There's still plenty of time. Life is long as hell, actually. It might feel like it passes by quick, but there's a lot of time to do whatever it is. You know, you know, health and all of that. Get out and find your colon. Try everything. Find my calling. Easy enough for him to say. His damn squats. That's it. I remember when I was when I too was running from the government, going straight to the big city. Yeah, going straight to the headquarters city. It is weird that they head straight to Midgar. It's always kind of funny that they go to Midgar. The only thing I can think of is like maybe hoping to sort of like mix in with the mass of people, but it doesn't really make much sense. Hear me out. I've got all kinds of smarts and skills other guys don't. Especially given the fact that, like, well, now in the hindsight of like having Crisis Core and how much time he spent in the slums and everything, like, I don't know if he's that anonymous anymore. So I'm gonna do every job combined into one. I'll be a mercenary. I think it's odd here, but in Crisis Core it makes more sense. You didn't want him to see Aerith. Oh, that's true. He does want to see Aerith. Yeah. That does make a lot more sense. It's less logical. It's more emotional. He's like, oh, I gotta go see my girl, you know? Right, he had a little fan club in Midgar. Yeah, he does have a fan club, right? Shit. Hey, Kuya, what's going on? Oh, and Chip Ruby, thank you for the follow. Didn't you hear a word I said? Mercenary life, here I come. Doesn't matter how dangerous or boring the job, so long as there's a reward. We'll get a bank. I know it. Yeah, it just leaves one question. How are you gonna hack it? No, wait, you got it all backward. Fucking Cloud just does not process anything happening right now. Poor guy. Poor guy. Just drugged in the back. I'm just kidding. You know I wouldn't do that to you. Yeah, I can see he wanted to speak to friends / Aerith, but yeah, as OG is concerned, it's just goofy as heck, yeah. We're friends. Well, even within the OG, right? Like they don't say it outright, but there definitely is the, you know, when Aerith talks about her for his boyfriend, like it's Zack, so the stuff is there. It's just not like super obvious, I guess. We're friends, right? Listen to me getting all sappy. Mercenaries, Cloud. You and me doing whatever work comes our way. Got that? Oh yeah, and he mentions her here technically. When he's like, oh no, the mom's there. So they were already linked for that reason. But it's just funny to go back to like ground zero. Like literally the headquarters of the people that are chasing you. And Dragon Cloud's poor ass there. I always loved how like cold and ruthless and just quiet this version of the scene is. It's just that much more tragic. In some ways, I guess it's comparable to Dine, right? Like this is a quieter version, just like the Dine scene in the OG is a much like much more stripped back, kind of quiet, what's the word? Like non-big, for lack of, words are escaping me. I work today, so forgive me, but it's not as like bombastic as like it is in Rebirth for the 9 scene. Similar thing with Zack. I always felt that way about like the comparison between this scene and the Crisis Core's depiction of it, which obviously carries forward into the remake. It's just so much more just stripped back and simplified, you know, but sort of like more tragic in that way too. It's very unceremonious. That's the word I was thinking of. Like very unceremonious, not very cinematic, yeah. What do we do with this one, sir? He's done for already, just leave him. DMW's using something else there. Yeah. What was... Zack should have used the power of the digital mind wave to remember Aerith's mom. I think both versions of his death have their own merits. I think the best version would be something less intense than Crisis Core, but dramatic than OG. We did talk about it at one point of like, it does make sense that Crisis Core, where it's like a game where he's the hero, it would probably be a little anticlimactic to end a game centered on him in like a way that's this quiet. So I understand them wanting to do that, plus like anime tropes and all that follows. But I just really like this version a lot. Yeah, for this version of events because it's somehow more painful. Just shot down like a task before getting lunch. Yeah. Zach. This is added to the international release rights, so it's the only time you see the exact background of Midgar. It's so memorable. Oh yeah, this was added in the international, from what I know. Like this wasn't in the original release, like not in the Japanese release, at least. Honestly, the Crisis Core version of the scene and using DMW hit hard when I first played it, and then again when remastered. Yeah, the DMW stuff was like a cool way to at least do it. You know, it was at least. It used a gameplay mechanic to do storytelling within the gameplay in an interesting way, kind of in a way that a lot of FF games haven't. Like literally, Zack's character moves more slowly at the end. You know, like you can't move, and it really just shows how persistent he is, but also how beat up he is. So in terms of like immersive storytelling through gameplay, it's one of the few moments in like an FF game where they really do that really well. Like, you know, probably arguably another moment would be in Rebirth, the Aerith flashback, like the trial when she's a kid. Same with all the trials, actually. Barrett's trial, especially because that's something we never saw. We never really saw him like finding his wife, his, you know, Myrna's body. So that was really intense. I feel like Crisis Core was designed around the ending with DMW. Yeah, most likely that makes sense. But they already knew they wanted to have that, so it just worked backward from it. That makes sense. And you would probably, you know, when you're planning that game, I would imagine you're like, all right, if we're gonna redo this thing that we included as like an international scene, just like a small scene, if we're gonna make a whole game out of this like storyline, what do we want? How do we end this? Like, how do we make sure it's like a worthwhile conclusion? And so they probably brainstormed that pretty early. And I mean, I don't know. That's probably covered in some kind of like Ultimania stuff somewhere, like when and where certain things in Crisis Core were planned. Specimen B, code C. Someone used their nails to scratch something on the inside of the tube. We got to escape. All this stuff is so cool. It's just the environmental storytelling here is so good, and they don't do anything with it in Rebirth. They have the extra room with the Sephiroth cells, but I like to know how Zack and Aerith were dating or whatever, but it wasn't like psychic one true love or whatever. But I get it. Hard to do Crisis Core without making their relationship central. I actually really like the way they depict a lot of that aspect of it, like you're saying, right? Like the distance of it, you know, like what the distance would do, you know, to that relationship. You know, it was like relatively, I mean, it has its sort of like storybook cuteness, I think probably like early on. But like once he leaves, you know, there's like some nice stuff, you know, in terms of like what that would be like for both of them, you know. Somebody used their nails to scratch something on the inside of the tube. Feeding time, that's no chance. I mean, probably the biggest thing in Crisis Core is just like, I get that Aerith is younger, but just how sort of, that was one of the first versions of her that was like so almost like, I don't want to say Disney princess, but like, it was just like weirdly innocent in a way that I just don't think of her as, you know. Maybe it's something she gained over time, You know, she's such a sarcastic sort of character at times too. That was one of the first depictions of her that sort of like just was a little, I don't know, it wasn't quite OG Aerith, but maybe she grows into it. I don't know. And kind of going off Kingdom Hearts, I haven't played Kingdom Hearts, but I've heard that about that depiction too. Even Advent Children to some extent is like that. I really wish CC would have focused way more on Zack's relationship with Cloud. To be honest, it didn't make sense. They barely touched on it. Yeah, it's they act like they become really almost like best friends very quickly. It's just very rushed. I feel like a lot of Crisis Core's like storytelling is very rushed, because in theory it should have been 2 UMDs. Like they planned for it at one point to be 2 discs, and then Square Enix got cheap, so they never did that. Hey, I've been looking but wanted to ask. I saw people debate in YouTube comments once that Cloud does or doesn't have Zack's memories. What do you feel about it? And why are people so split? I think people are split on it because it's like it's sort of confusing, and I think even the developers have been a little confusing about it. I don't think it's really answered all that well. I mean, the way that I've always seen it is kind of how he explains after the live stream sequence that, because we just saw a scene where Zack was talking to Cloud when he was like all hazy, Genova out, like Mako overdose. So I think it's sort of like how it's described there. And I think Ever Crisis might have some points about this, but I can't remember. But essentially I think, because Zack is just sort of that guy, that type of guy that would, like we saw, he just talks to Cloud, even though Cloud can't respond. I think he was probably telling him lots of things on the journey and on the trip, and that was sort of like seeping into Cloud's consciousness while Cloud was messed up, and it just sort of got mixed in with his own memories, and he didn't really know how to pull them apart. I was actually watching this really fascinating YouTube video. It was like this girl describing being like in a medical coma. So it was like an induced coma. It wasn't like a non-induced coma, but it was like an induced one. And she described like what it was like to be in this coma. And she was describing like hearing the conversations happening around her, but they would be like recontextualized in her head. Like she would be hearing her mom and her grandmother talking to one another in the room, like in the hospital. And she would be picturing and imagining them, but they would be on a beach or like something. Like they would be in some setting that her mind then took that and then like recontextualized it, or like put it into a context that made sense during her coma. It was like a really long dream for her. Like another example I found really interesting, she talked about how apparently there were a few times where they had to, she was in the bed and they would have to like elevate it, like feet first, like so her head was dropping down. And so like weird things would happen in the world to her from her perspective, that would sort of explain the disorientation or the weird orientation that she was in while she was like, while her body was physically that way. So it's really interesting. Like, yeah. I always interpreted that Cloud doesn't have his memories. He just overwrites his own with him in place of Zack. I think originally pre-Crisis Core remake, Cloud did not have Zack's memories, but it was something they decided later. A lot of Genova stuff has sort of changed or been added later on in compilation. Yeah, I mean, they were also rewriting to some extent. I prefer the version where he doesn't have Zack's memories. He just fills in the blanks based on Zack's stories and his own memories. That's essentially what I think of, yeah. IRL memory is so weird because every time you remember something, you don't remember the original event, but your last memory of it. Yeah, your memories are incredibly unreliable too. Like I have, you know, memories of things where like I can recall events from my perspective, and it inevitably is gonna like put a bias on like my own recollection of those events. Like you almost never see your own memories objectively. You still see them like with whatever insecurities you have, or like whatever sort of, whatever element was playing a factor in it, you sort of like can remember it that way. Sometimes after enough time, you can look at it objectively. You can like I've looked back and been like, man, I was really a selfish prick there. or like I really wasn't listening to them there. You know, I was really blind to this or that, you know? So there's sometimes like you get that awareness, but yeah. I have childhood memories that are in the third person, so I know for a fact I'm not remembering them accurately. Oh my God, that's weird. I don't know what to say about that one, Loli. I don't remember staircases. I remember remembering about staircases. I have crazy memories in the first person. God, I'm such a yapper on stream. But I literally have memories. I know it's gonna sound crazy, chat. You're gonna be like, there's no way. I swear to God. I have a memory. I was probably, I don't know how old I was. I must have been like 2 years old or something. All I remember, I was small enough that I like can visualize, I can see it. My grandmother like putting me in the kitchen like sink, because when I was a baby, when I was very small, they would sometimes just like bathe me in the sink, because it was just like easier and or whatever, I don't know. I actually never really asked about it. I just remember being bathed in the sink at times, which I must have been small. I don't know how old I was. And then I also remember, like, I must have been maybe 5 years old at most. And my grandmother had this, like, in her living room, the entire wall, the back wall was like a giant mirror. So I just remember looking at it and I could picture myself, I still picture myself with like drool all over. Cause like when I was a kid, I was a heavy drooler. I just remember seeing drool all over my shirt. I can still picture it, like discolored drool. Yeah, like, well, the shirt being discolored by the drool, not like I had green drool or something. Yeah, so we would bathe small babies in the sink, at least in the Midwest, yeah. It's just me waking up every morning. Escapee report number 2, condition at time of discovery. Subject A, talk about a non sequitur. Ex-soldier, no ID number, no effects from Mako radiation or Genova exhibited. Subject B, general infantryman, no ID number, extreme reaction to Genova exhibited. Let's see. Number 3, regarding disposal, subject A, shot dead after resisting. Subject B, escaped while subject A was resisting. Number 1. Date XX. The 2 individuals who escaped from the facility were discovered in the outskirts of Midgar. And then last one. Escapee report number 4. Other notes, subject B's whereabouts are currently unknown. However, subject B exhibited advanced psychic disturbance. As such, it is our opinion that he will pose no problem if left as is. We await further instruction on the matter. I'm just going to stand up because I don't want to sit for hours. I just love these reports, man. Looking at 7 through a trauma lens is what I love to do. Memories are so fickle compared to what our bodies physically remember. Yeah. Hey, what's up, Oz? Yeah, totally. There's definitely a lot of that in 7. Everyone is sort of affected by their trauma in 7. Literally every character has a backstory that has like some traumatic event, including Vincent, which we just passed his place. I guess I could be misremembering, but like, what about Yuffie? Like, I guess maybe just the war and like what that did to Wutai would probably be the closest thing to a trauma. They literally added a new one with Sonon. Adrenaline can also shut out unnecessary senses. I was in a rollover car accident. We were listening to the radio. I don't remember any sounds, barely remember what I saw except the broken windshield. Damn. I'm glad, you were okay. I got robbed at a knife point once, and sort of I had the same adrenaline impact where like I remember the event really well. I just remember like having to describe the suspect to cops because like I didn't think I was gonna I was like, I'm not gonna file a police report, whatever, it's fine. Like they're not gonna find the guy. What are the odds they're gonna find this random guy? But I got home, I was in college, and I was walking home late, It was after a date. It was like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I was waiting for the bus, and I could either wait 50 minutes for the bus, or I could walk about like 25 minutes to my apartment. It was like 3 a.m. And I'd done it before. I'd done it dozens of times. So I was like, sure, I was just walking. I had just got the new iPhone, like the iPhone, the literal iPhone was new. Might have been like the first iPhone or the second one of those. So I had my headphones in, and I was just not paying attention. This guy saddled up next to me in the middle of the walk, and he pulled out a knife, and he was like, look down. So I looked down. There was like a giant knife against my gut, and I was like, oh shit, okay. So it all probably happened in like a minute, but in real time, like I was like, it felt like 10 minutes. I was like weighing options. I was like, do I run to the 24-hour drugstore like a mile away? He looks a little bit faster than me, so I don't think I'm gonna make it. I was like processing all these options. Long story short, I took out my wallet. I actually didn't give him my wallet. I just like gave him the money in the wallet, which wasn't much. I was a college student, so I had like $5. And so he took my phone. So he took the $5 and he took my phone. And so I get to my apartment. I was in college. So I was like sharing an apartment. And what happened? And so I woke up my friend, my roommate. I was like, hey, this guy Rob, blah, blah, blah. And he was like, oh, you should call the cops. You should report it. You should like, it's like, really? I was like, what are the cops gonna do? Like, it's a random robbery in the middle of the night. Like, they're not gonna find this guy. So I call the cops, file a police report. And to the point of like adrenaline, shutting out some things, I could not picture the guy. Like, I could not picture his face. Like, I really struggled. And then over time, I sort of remembered. I gave some details of what I remembered, but it was like not great. It actually made me think, this actually shows how unreliable like police reports can be, and like suspect descriptions, and like all of these things. Anyway, it actually ended up being fairly reliable, because like 2 weeks later, thank you so much, Blacklight Andrew. Like 2 weeks later, 2 or 3 weeks later, I get a phone call from the police, and I was like, what? I was like, hello? And they were like, they repeated the case, and they're like, we think we found the guy. And I was like, really? I genuinely was like shocked. I was like, really? And they're like, yeah, match description, etc. I thought they got the wrong guy, if anything. So I show up to the police station. There's like a bunch of people who had been like robbed by him. A wide range of people. There was like a 60-year-old woman. There was like a 12-year-old kid. It was just like the vast, like the widest array of like potential victims. And we all had the same description of like how it went, what the weapon looked like, etc. And so, they took me, and I was like expecting a TV show almost, with like the big window. It was just a small window. It was just this very small window, to look through it to see the lineup. And sure enough, the guy was there. It was definitely the guy from that night. And long story short, what happened was he was essentially a drug addict, like I think a crack addict. And he was just going around sort of like ripping off whoever he could. Like when he just needed the thing, just whoever was around, that's when he would like go for somebody. So the reason he got caught was because he did it in the middle of like broad daylight on a very busy street, and there was like a cop very nearby. So the cop like saw it happen, like grabbed the guy when he was like mid robbery of like some random person. Yeah, so they actually did get it right. I'll give them the credit. It was definitely him. Like, as unreliable as my memory could be, like it definitely was him. I would say I hope it was him, but I really do think it was him. But yeah, it was kind of crazy. So that was an experience. All right, where am I going? I have to. I think it's already set up to go to Junon. Lucky they caught him. Yeah, I mean, you know, at the very least, I hope the guy, like, it's, I genuinely, it's gonna sound weird, but I was kind of torn about it. I was a little torn about it just because, like, a lot of times these people really just need help, you know? Like, what they really need is help. They need help with their addiction. They need help with whatever. And then we just throw them in prison, and, like, he threatened me with a weapon, sure, but he wasn't actually violent. He didn't really hurt any of the victims that he robbed. So I was really kind of torn about it, just in terms of, like, him just getting thrown into the system and then, like, not actually getting help, and, like, you know. Kafka, yes, please go to sleep. I know it was late for you. So I was actually kind of torn about it a little bit, to be honest. Missy's got a massive drug problem. President's in the other. Exactly, yeah. Like, there are definitely people who, like, do need. There's definitely, like, violent people. There are definitely, like, people who, like, you need to sort of, like, put away. Like, there are people who prison is correct for. I don't know. I didn't feel like he was one of them, you know? Even though it was, like, a very small interaction, even though he did pull a knife on me. I don't know. And then I don't know what happened to him since, you know? I have no idea. He could have hurt someone accidentally. Yeah. You want to ride the elevator that bad? Then pony up, it's 10 gil. I guess we got no choice. I think we have to go this way, right? Yeah, people are always surprised when I have empathy for my attempted kidnapper from childhood. Wow, he himself was 16 and confessed to everything. Wow. Yeah, no, I get it. I get it. Like, I know it could sound a little crazy to some people, and, like I said, some people do need the prison time, and maybe need, like, some prison time. It's just that the cycle that then happens that's then, like, triggered by prison, it's like then it becomes really hard to find a job. And then because they can't find a job, they sort of, like, then they continue to do crimes. And so it just, like, leads to a potential cycle that maybe they could have gotten out of. But the system is, like, so, can just be so punitive in terms of your ability to sort of, like, actually reincorporate back into society that it becomes a problem. Now, on the same token, there are people who have, like, gone multiple times, get released, and they do another heinous crime. So it's, like, a very complicated, you know, problem to solve, because not everyone does, you know, get rehabbed or can be, you know, rehabbed. So it's not so binary. It's not one or the other, but, you know, there's enough people who could be helped in a different way that aren't, that it just, you know, I guess if you're at all empathetic, it's just hard to sort of, like, have such a hammer, you know. Like, a 16-year-old doesn't just end up that way. My parents found his parents and were like, yeah, this is a bad home. I always just hope he ended up on a better path. The best way to combat crime is to meet people's needs. Yeah. I've helped out at a food bank for years, and you often see people, it's just people are desperate for someone to care and help. Yeah. The history of FF7 is where they figure out a just and rehabilitative justice system. Oh, God damn it. Shinra forces are out collecting a Magnus materia from Junon's offshore reactor. Once they have safely recovered it, they'll bring it here to the airport. You better get out of here before then. They won't want anyone getting in their way. Huh? Me? I'll steer clear too. Gotta watch all the action from here. Should probably save. Did I save? I may have saved. I don't know. Wrong thing, my Bob. Spoiler, Meteor is not just a rehabilitated option. Well, I feel like that's not the right direction. Through here? No. No. Guess it is this way. Is it up? No. Speaking of memory. Why is this guy crying? What's going on with him? Oh. Cutscene. Is it just me, or does it feel like something's missing? I can't wait to see what they do with the sub minigame in part 3. It'll be fascinating. Mechanically, it's actually one of the least offensive minigames in the OG, like mechanically. Like, I replayed the game before Rebirth, and it kind of makes sense. Like, it's not that bad compared to, say, Chocobo Racing is terrible. You got to do the fucking hack. So sort of your stamina hack. There's, what are the other ones? There's, the basketball minigame in Gold Saucer is ass. The timing on it, the sensitivity of it is crazy terrible. Like, there's a lot of bad minigames. Basketball with a lead ball. Not only just a lead ball, but like the timing window of actually making it is so small. Welcome. How dreadful, I can hardly believe my eyes. Oh, and snowboarding. Snowboarding feels so bad. Like the actual physics of the snowboarding is awful. Just awful. Thing is, as a kid, you sort of like find ways to make it good. You know, like when you're a kid, you sort of make it work. Like I remember as a kid actually getting to a point of like having the snowboarding feeling fun. I remember being addicted to the basketball minigame. And then anytime I played as an adult, I'm like, how did I enjoy these minigames at all? Mechanically, they're awful. How dreadful. Like people complain about the minigames in Rebirth. Holy shit. At least like they're playable, technically. I wonder if we still have our despair suppression snowboarding scene. Yeah, session. Yeah. We've talked about it before. I was actually watching Final Fantasy VII talk about it, and they talked about could they make it feel like one of the SSX games? If they get it anywhere close to feeling like an SSX game, I will, the next time I see Hamaguchi in person, I will kiss him on the cheek. Because that would actually be sick. Like, I love SSX. Actually, wait, it will totally make more sense because now Cloud isn't depressed. Yeah. It actually does make some more sense. It's also not as jarring, you know, because 4 years have passed. How dreadful. I can hardly believe my eyes as I think monsters like that weapon are walking the earth. Anything here worthwhile? Why is magic up 20 grand? God damn. Why is magnified 20 grand? Did the mod adjust these prices to like make it as difficult to make a magnify as it is in Rebirth? What the fuck? Tifa though, she's crying down the slopes. Tifa's gonna have to take a ski car. You know, like she can't be going down the slopes. Being depressed and cold is the worst combo. Yeah, they're really gonna put Tifa through the worst, just so she can triumphantly save everybody by actually getting Cloud's head right. Things been on the fritz ever since the weapon attacked. In the ass. Rune Blade, that's a terrible sword, technically. Nothing really new here. I always double check these. And I feel like they're probably not worth it. But oh, the bald bar, guys, the bald bar. The Disney unbelievable, like, bastardization. The weapon, see how gritty it is, chat? It's so gritty. It's so dark. Look how sad this guy is. Now this is the bald bar. This is the way it was made to be experienced. The weapon and that meteor have scared everyone off, but not me. I'm still soused as usual. Talk to me, guy. To be honest, I like to close this place down, but I've still got all the regulars to think about. Guess I've gone soft. It is interesting to see like the dialogue as they're like dealing with, you know, meteor coming down. Like he just wants to close this bar. But Bumblebee, what? Imagine if you play as Tifa at the start of the game. Well, the Tifa, yeah, the Tifa, like in general, when you control Tifa without Cloud, that's going to be emotional as hell. I feel like I'm missing them. Oh yeah, it'd be emotionally powerful, yeah. No singing, just grit and intensity. I won't give up. I refuse to close shop. Weapons, meteors, weird customers, bring them all on. Am I the weird customer? Is that where you just like put me on to? I should probably get something new for Yuffie, especially if I want to do Wutai at all. These are much better priced than the other guy. I was getting ripped off at the other place. The laughing at the comment of Bald Bar. Okay, I got it. The Tifa proportion will be pretty long, I feel like. Even in the OG, it's not super long, like pretty quickly. Like if you go to Mideel very quick, it's essentially over. So it might be a little bit longer. It just never seems to end. Hey, cut the chit chat. What rotten luck. I want to fight in a real battle too. It actually reminds me of the idea that John Q Gamer had in his video, where he said that, like, what if on the search for Cloud, I still think this is a really cool idea, if Zack is in the main world, if he's in the main world, which I think pretty good chance he is, if after Cloud goes missing, you hear rumors of a former soldier or a guy who looks like a former soldier with a Buster Sword, the same description at the beginning of Rebirth that they give for Cloud when he's missing, and the Shinra officers are like, when they see Zack, they're like, oh, it's the guy with the Buster Sword. Like their identity gets mixed up. I wonder if the same thing will happen where you'll hear rumors of this, like, you know, guy with a Buster Sword, this like ex-soldier with a Buster Sword, and you go to find, thinking like, oh, that's where Cloud popped up, and you end up running into Zack. That, it would be interesting. There are a lot of implications into like what that does, the sort of like reveal in the live stream sequence. So I'm not totally sold on it, but I could see them doing it just because they did set up that, like, that misdirection or that misidentification in Rebirth. So what around luck, I want to fight in a real battle too. What if Zack fixes Cloud's memories instead of Tifa? No, they can't do that. They can't do that. The live stream sequence will have new stuff. I do think the live stream sequence will have new stuff. It will almost undoubtedly have new stuff. But they can't. They can't, like, replace the Tifa. Tifa's still going to be, like, core to it. She's has exposure to the live stream sequence, to the live stream now. She's even better set up in a lot of ways to, like, help with that. That would be kind of genius if you can early encounter Zack like that. He'd be around Midgar, Qhimm too. But he's gonna go back there and use that zone again. They'll say there's a new Burka town, and we'll assume it's Kyrie again. Oh, that's a good point. A lot of the candidates I was competing with died during the weapons attack. Why didn't I? Well, I was here studying, of course. That elusive green uniform is nearly mine. Any day now, promoted to senior officer. such a reactor scene, Crisis Core they did, yeah. No, I mean, I think the live stream sequence is pretty sacred. Like, they've talked about it, like multiple devs have talked about it as their favorite sequence, so. I think there will be new stuff though. I think they're gonna explore like a lot more memories. I do think they're gonna explore like, it's a decent chance they explore what happened at the Forgotten Capital, because both Cloud and Tifa are a bit confused about what happened at the Forgotten Capital. Don't forget with the staircase, yeah. Like both Tifa and Cloud need clarity about Forgotten Capital. Legitimately, they're both confused. Like Tifa saw some other shit that she doesn't know how to describe either. So I really don't know what they're gonna do. There's gonna be more. I think the live stream sequence is gonna be pretty big, and it might include more characters. It might include more scenes. Yeah. All right. Show me how these jewels paid off. Hey, what's up, Nightbreaker? Ready, charge. Hey, not that way. You're running right toward the offshore reactor. Thank you for the hint. It's gonna be Tifa, Zack, and Aerithal pulling Cloud back together. It's very possible, honestly. It is possible. Hey, how about whoever survives? So chat, I kind of want them for Highwind, but is a submarine crew gonna be the Midgar 7? What are they called again? Hey, let Barrett help too. They fleshed out their new friendship. Is he in the live stream? Did you say you weren't doing Wednesday stream? Yeah. Initially, I was not going to do Wednesday originally. Is that my phone? It is my phone. What song even is this? Is this in my library? How did that play? Did it accidentally like trigger a Siri request? Anyway, what was I gonna say? Yeah, Midgar 7th Infantry. That's what it is. So yeah, so I wasn't gonna stream on Wednesday originally, because I thought I was gonna have to travel for work. It turns out I need to travel next Wednesday for work. So I decided to do it this Wednesday. What time is it? 9? God damn. I talk so much during these streams. Hey, how about whoever survives gets to take her on a date? All right, you're on. But what if we both get smoked? Come on, man, don't talk like that. This makes me not want to kill them. I guess it's fine. Like technically in the lore, we don't kill them. We just like knock them out. Here, we kind of kill them because they disappear, but... These guys just want to go on a date. Let them win? Yeah. Purposeful game over. Let's talk about her, aren't they? I just realized that. You just knocked them out, it's fine. Blood mist, yeah. Gulp. There go two perfectly good suitors. Ah, she was interested too. Ah, now I really feel bad. Hey, get back to your post. We got trouble. I'm so sleepy. Yeah, it's relatable. We're Junon. Just like how in the lore of Batman Arkham Knight, shooting people with tank rounds and blowing them up in cars is non-lethal. Yeah, same thing in the... I think technically Uncharted. Also, you're not always killing them. Or there's some game with like a lot of shooting and killing, and it's not actually shooting and killing. And it's like, we sure about that? You sure about that? Dude, if you kill them all in Uncharted, Nathan Drake is a mass murderer. Yeah, that's why they technically say he isn't. But to be fair, people are shooting at him. You gotta shoot back. People are shooting at you. But watch out, he's got a bat with nails in it. Yeah, the nail bat I've never really used in any playthrough, but really because of you guys, I've embraced it. Because I've never liked it because of the no materia slots, but I've really embraced it in this playthrough, and it's really goddamn strong. So I should have probably done that before. Let's see if it needs something. Or underwater, maybe the water ring, I don't know. Do I have no materia equipped to Tifa right now? What's going on? I'll give her Bahamut. Oh, shit. I feel like people have swap. Oh, Vincent has a shit. Oh, that's right, because I set up Vincent for some reason. Ah, shit. This is the wrong thing. Also give her healing. Cloud has no... Oh my god. Oh, that's right. That's right, because of the, well, Cloud was gone. That's right, that makes sense. It's been a while, chat, since I played this game. I was like, why do kind of my main crew not have materia? Doesn't make sense. That's why. That's why. Some of these materia combos I had were weird, though. Oh, I get the MP booster one. It kind of makes sense. But it makes sense of somebody who has... like, actual magic. Like Barret. Move Odin. Time Magnify's fine there. Turbo and the booster. Does that even make sense? Oh, because it has to be linked MP. Consume MP to power up linked MP-based skills, so that doesn't make sense. Yeah, 2 supports didn't make sense to me. What material do I have? MP Turbo? Let's give him lightning. Oh, materia management. It's always a blast. It's always fun. It's always a good time. It's what you guys tune in for. It's the good stuff. Oh, counter. It's cool. Death Blow. I'm always a fan of Death Blow, even though it misses like half the time. Unless I put Death Blow with Luck Up. I don't think they're technically linked, but... Damn, she still needs 2 more. She can have 2 more. Just not all that blown away by my options. What's steel? Does somebody have steel? Sorry, chat. Just give me 1 minute. Give me 1 minute. Steel. Or maybe... No, it doesn't make sense. She can't throw. She has long range material. That's what she needs. Like, even if it's something about Shinra Troopers, was that how much this game left is left? It's not a lot, actually. It's really not a lot. Oh, you take pictures of your loadouts? That's smart. I have the strategy guide. Where is it? I have the strategy guide, so I can visually show you how much is left. Not that Here it is. Here it is. Look at this shot. This actually has me thinking about part 3, like pacing and all that, but we are... Let's see. We're here, the underwater reactor. And this is it. This is save for Sephiroth. Save for Sephiroth. Right there. So this is all that we have left. This thin wad of paper. This. Really not much. We have underwater reactor. We'll step through it. We have underwater reactor. We have Wutai, technically, which is earlier in the guide. Submarine battle. First man in space. Ancient machine. That's where we like go back and we drop off the huge materia with Bugenhagen, and then we go back to Forgotten Capital. Then there's a diamond weapon attack. Then return to Midgar, and then right after return to Midgar is the final confrontation. So, not a whole lot, honestly. It might take a few streams for us because we take our time, and I tell you stories about getting robbed and filing police reports in New York and court appearances. Oh, we got a soldier. He thinks he's so cool. If I hit him with aqua breath. I can't see the party killing those weapons at all. I'm very curious to see how they do the weapon fights, obviously. Friday, sadly, have to work tonight because schedule changed. Good night, GV Dragoon. Thanks for hanging out. We're kind of strong. We're kind of fucking strong, chat. Hold on. Ironically enough, my FF7 crew in New York is texting something. Oh shit. It's just like personal news. It does feel kind of odd narratively that we decide to fight the weapons, considering they're trying to protect the planet. I technically get it. People are in danger. Yeah, because they're attacking. Well, especially in Remake and Rebirth, right? Well, in the Remake trilogy, because we almost have like a good rapport with them. Because that weapon was definitely helping Tifa in some way. I think the weapon in Gingaga was trying to show Tifa something as like an aid to us. So, I mean, it's not like we're like friends with it. It's not like she hugged it. Although she did say good luck down there, right? It's like a very friendly goodbye to the weapon. So we kind of have a different connection to the weapons. So they could do, so I really wonder how they'll, in this game, we don't have that moment with the weapons beforehand. They're just these like mindless things that attack cities that we either go to try to protect, like Midgar, or that we already stuck in, like Junon. Like literally the, Tifa and Barret are just trapped there. So I'm curious to see how it'll be approached differently in the remake. So much in part 3, so much of the stuff, and it's when it gets like, there are so many ways where you could, so many opportunities for you to say, so much of Rebirth especially, but even Remake, a lot of these events mostly played out the same. Obviously the crazy big things like killing Fate, Gods of Fate and all this stuff, but so many things that are coming in part 3 have had bits that like lead up to them that have been messed with, right? Like the big turning point in the live stream sequence where Tifa and Cloud remember what happened on Mount Nebel. They already talked about it in Gaga, in Rebirth. So they've already at least talked about that. They've at least talked about Zack to some extent. Obviously, he doesn't remember things clearly, so there's still things to clarify with that. The events of Aaron's death, and the non-burial, the unseen burial, all the weapon stuff, the huge materia, how they're literally just parts of the bodies of the weapons. I mean, the one thing they could do, that they could potentially do here with the Junon reactor, is in part 1 there was that scene in Remake where Scarlet is like looking at some materia sort of being made, and it goes wrong, right? It's where she uses that guy as like an ottoman, and she like has her legs up on the guy's back, and she's like, uses him as a footstool. In that scene, they're like creating some kind of materia, presumably like a huge materia type thing. So it's possible that they synthesize a Magnus materia that's more so in the size of one of the huge materia from this game. So maybe there is one of the huge materia, the Magnus materia, that is like in a form that's transferable either by submarine like here, or by spaceship like the Rocket Town thing. So it's possible there's that version, but so far we only know of the really big, like building size huge materia, the Magnus materia. So I don't know how that fits. And truthfully, like a lot of this part of the story feels like a random sort of like filler fetch quest, because ultimately, once you get the huge materia in the OG, you just store it in Bugenhagen's projector room, and then you pretty much never do anything with it. So there's a lot of things in this second part of the game that doesn't really have as much like clear narrative purpose. Obviously, we're coming to this reactor. It's set up in Rebirth. I think the events of what happens here are going to be different. And the whole chase for the Magnus materia, huge materia, it just gotta fundamentally rework to some degree, because it doesn't really make sense based on how they treat the Magnus materia here. Just FYI, oh, thank you. I always forget to update that. Yeah, let me just update my category. Manager. I almost set it to FF7 before stream, but I'm like, sometimes we chat a lot before we actually stream. Okay, there we go. Thank you. And also, hi. Thank you, Krimiko. And at that time, FF7 is the most expensive game ever made, yeah. Almost all of Disc 2 just doesn't feel nearly as well planned out as Disc 1, and I think a lot of it comes down to development time. 2 years, still pretty short, to be honest. It wasn't even 2 years, I don't think, in full, right? Like, I think the, hey, what's up, Labib Sahid? I think, like, the actual, like, hard dev time of the OG, like, actual development time, like, I'm sure there's pre-planning, that may have been 2 years. But, like, the hard development, I think, was, like, 9 months, at least in the Polygon, like, oral history. They said something like 9 months. So, it may have been even that short. Look, they rushed a lot of stuff. They rushed the Zack reveal, was like a fairly last minute addition. You know, like so much of the OG FF7 is like this miraculous mistake. God, these animations through the mod, they look so good. Like, I've seen some people comment on, like, either my Rebirth video, which had some footage with these kinds of mods, or even just on these playthroughs. They're like, oh, I don't like these mods, you know. I like these mods, man. It looks nice. I cannot wait to see the underwater reactor in part 3. That said, I said the same thing about Shinra Manor. I said the same thing about the Forgotten Capital, the giant staircase. Chat. I was so hyped. We've talked about this before. but the giant glass staircase in Forgotten Capital that like goes down. And what do they replace it with? A damn elevator. Elevators everywhere. We're not even gonna take, when we get to Rocket Town, we may not get into a spaceship. We may get into a giant space elevator. Like, that's very possible at this point. That's like my most Sebi-coded, like, complaint about FF7 Remake Trilogy is these damn elevators. Like, his bald bar is my elevator. Elevators everywhere. I realized it was like 30 seconds behind. I just kept alive and it's talking about the staircase again. Well, I was talking about the literal staircase in Forgotten Capital, damn Disney elevator. The staircase in Forgotten Capital, like the beautiful glass staircase, they replaced that with a because I was saying how cool it will be to see this in part 3. There's underwater reactor, big glass like walkway, you know, you see the water around you, you see, you know, the dolphins and shit. And so it could be really cool. But then I was like, well, who knows? They may botch it. Just like they botched the staircases and turned them all into elevators. I said the Rocket Town may just be a giant space elevator. God damn it, these elevators. And no elevator will actually look as cool as this elevator. Like the actual like bombing run elevator in the OG. I know Night Sky Prince talked about this a lot. It's like that elevator is like very cool. It's very dark, has like the sort of like neon coloring and stuff. This elevator is sick as shit. I guarantee you it's going to be like a normal ass elevator. Why are we talking about shippers and shipping in the chat? I'm like, I'm not even tracking what's happening there. Try to make this a shipping-free zone. All right, what are we doing? This, yeah. So I really don't know. Like this, I see because you'll see in a second. They grab the Magnus materia in a second with this arm. Two weeks till the 29th anniversary. You're right. Yeah, very close. Very close. I really don't think they're going to do anything big for it. I do expect like a statement. They've done that, like those like Twitter statements where it's like Katase and Nomura and Hamaguchi. They'll all have like their like single page letter where it's like development's going well, you know, working on this or that. We can't wait to show it to you soon. I'm a big believer in a February state of play. And it could be there. It's very possible. What kind of aesthetic or design language do you call the vehicles of FF7? They're so iconic and clunky and feel a bit 50s and modern. 50s and modern, yeah. I guess like sort of 50s, right? Like even the cars, like what was it? The car in like the cars in the cutscene at the beginning of FF7 Remake, like the opening cutscene. They're like very 50s, you know? What if Cody's doing the trailer voice lines? He could be. He legitimately could be, like, because we know, well, we think they wrapped the mocap not too long ago. So I don't know when I don't know how they're doing the recording for the final game. Like, if they've completely localized everything yet. They could just be localizing for a trailer. It feels like a lot of sessions for just a trailer. An anniversary would be a great time to at least reveal part 3's name. I've thought about that, but I do think that they want the sort of like reaction clips of people being like, oh my god, it's Returns or Reclaim or whatever they call it. So I feel like they want those clips, and you don't get the same impact if they just do like a social media announcement. They could do a little trailer, I guess, where they just do like a name reveal. They could have like as teaser of a teaser as possible. Like they might do that if they're not if they don't have anything until Summer Games Fest, like if they don't have a trailer until Summer Games Fest, maybe they release a video with just a name on the anniversary. They really could do that. If they're planning for like a Sony State of Play in February, which we know every year Sony does a State of Play in February. If they're planning for something then I don't think they give us anything juicy. I think they probably hold it off and then just wait until the State of Play. Doesn't Sephiroth VA have a panel with the rest of the VA cast? Yeah, Sephiroth and Chad is going to be going to it. It's in Phoenix. But I know she's talked about it and very excited. And I'm excited for her. I'm jealous for her. I've been to one cast panel and it had Cody, which that in and of itself was like a treat because he doesn't show up in like anything. He's been, I think, in 2 panels total from what I remember. Game Expo. Yeah. He's been in like 2 panels total. I was at one of them at New York Comic Con. But this one's going to have everyone. It's going to have Tyler Hoechlin in it. I think Sephiroth's VA and Cloud's VA on a panel for like the first time ever. Pretty much the whole cast. Is there anybody, Steph, you'd probably know more because you're going. Is there anybody from the main party who isn't? Is there any VA who's not there? Like maybe, what's his face? Vincent? Matthew Mercer? Is he going to be there? I have to try to not pass out in front of Cody. Why do we never hear about Bahamut Arisen or Odin, Arizona? Yeah, I forget like the full, I'm pretty much, I think it's like pretty much everybody. All right, Red, Zach, Vincent are not. Okay. So I did get to see Max Middleman at the New York Comic Con one. That's Red 13. Or Sid. Okay. All I've ever seen is like the promo image, and it's like a lot of people. And so it sort of felt like it was everybody. So who is it exactly? If you don't mind typing that out. We know there's Cody, so it's Cloud, Sephiroth, Tifa, Aerith, Barrett. Who else? Yuffie. Cloud, Sephiroth, Tifa, Aerith, Barrett, Yuffie. Got it. Yeah. Susie is so talented, by the way. Like, I mean, they all are, but I just know Susie's in a lot of things. I started watching, my nephew had me watching, so they did come. We can't let them have the next materia. My nephew had me start watching Chainsaw Man. So I heard Susie in that too. She's like one of like the main female character in that show. I only saw like 2 or 3 episodes because he was like anime inducing me, I guess. Because I watch some anime now and then, but not a ton. So he was like showing me a lot of different things. I got really into Death Note. That was the one that he showed me that I got kind of into. I think we watched like 14 episodes over the holidays. So I still need to go back to it. Huh? The Magnus Materia? So yeah, you can see the Magnus Materia here. They pull it out of the reactor. So again, I think Scarlet could synthesize one in this reactor. But it's basically a Materia. Susie was also the main voice for Silent Hill F. She's in a ton of things. Yeah, Death Note so far is really good. It's a reminder. I need to go back to it. I haven't watched since I got home. I was really into it. I need to go back to that. Like the mind games are really fun between the 2 guys. And then now like get introduced to the third person in a way. The girl, for just trying to spoil things for anybody, just in case they haven't seen it. But was introduced like in the episode before or something like that. What are you doing? Get over there and help load the... What? Oh, it's Reno. Who said that? If you need help transporting that thing, we'd be happy to oblige. Looks like we made it. Barely. Hand it over, deliver it, or deliver it to Rufus. What's it gonna be? I forgot that we have to fight this guy here. Do we have to fight him here? Oh yeah, he runs away. Actually, he uses this line in Rebirth. Sorry kids, I don't got time to play with you. Like, this is what he says in the temple. This is the exact, almost the exact line. He's like, sorry kids, I don't have time to play with you. I guess he sort of says that in Remake also in chapter 12, but then you do fight him, so. I would recommend Full Metal Alchemist. Yeah, Full Metal Alchemist is another one I have never watched, but yeah, it's kind of a classic, right? Oh, we gotta fight this thing, that's right. Nothing matters now but the Magnus Materia. What's so good? Full Metal? I've been watching, I went back and watched, the other anime that I watched a lot of was, I watched the new Trigun, and then I went back and watched the original Trigun. They're both really good. In fact, like, it is funny though, because I remember, at least, like, I have one friend who doesn't like the new Trigun. It was the first one that I watched, so I was really into it. And then I went back and watched the OG, very different vibes from them. And then that first one, I mean, that original really just like leans into the mystery so much. Fuck. I gotta get Tifa up. But the OG has like such an interesting charm to it that is definitely a little bit missing. Like, it's much more like playful. I feel like I could steal from this thing too. I feel like that was an aspect of this fight. Let's do big guard. And I started watching the new Trigun Stargaze, like the first episode. So there's still a lot to go, but it's pretty good. I mean, I did like both. The OG Trigun was very good. The new one was very good. Obviously, Stargate just started, so obviously they're doing like a bit of a remix with Stampede. They did like a bit of a remixing of the OG. Like a lot of stuff is supposedly it's like more of a prequel to the OG, but they already introduced stuff. It's another example of like a Japanese anime doing sort of like a remake reboot that's very unconventional. Like I think here in the West, when we think remake, we think like very traditionally about what a remake is, but it feels like in Japan, they're just much more open to like playing around with it. I don't watch cartoons. I watch people play video games from 1987. It's very mature of you, Jake Lloyd. Why do you use Macho Magic so late in the game? It's a very weak spell. I don't know. I don't remember. Did I use it? I'm like partially chatting. I'm not really like totally 100% locked in. I think it may have tried to do big guard too. And I accidentally did that. It's very possible. I forgot if I stole from him, or if you even can steal from him. Who's that guy? I just forgot. Is there anything to steal from him? Is there anything worthwhile? Oh, nothing to steal? Okay. Thank you. Yeah, like I said, when you're streaming, you're not always 100% paying as close attention to things, even after you do them. Damn, it's a lot. Oh, damn seas. Collapse this laser. Oh, that did some damage. Oh, got him. Okay. Cool. Took a lot of damage, but we're good. God hands, that's right. Damn, the submarine. Shit. So you're just buying time. But we gotta hurry after it. Oh shit, wasn't there like an item down this way? Maybe not. Oh, down the other way. Damn it. Remember there being a box somewhere. At least I got it. Mid-car 7th Infantry, there they are. Maybe. I really do hope they're on the high wind just because you do more stuff on the high wind. But I'll take them anywhere. I'll for sure take them anywhere. Wow, he's low on AMP. This turbo we throw him. It's them. God, I love this song so much. I remember how good this song was in Gingaga when like it kicks off when you wake up. It's like when you're running to the reactor. I think the way it will most likely play out is that they will be captured and have no choice. But you'll be able to tell it's kind of unwilling on their part. Yeah. However they're integrated, wherever they're integrated, whether it's the submarine. Oh, there's another chest there. Chris Z, thank you so much for the follow. However they're incorporated, it'll be fun. It's gonna be like the fun moment where it's like, oh, you. It's not gonna really be a conflict, really. Those are our boys. Shit, I missed it. Fuck, what was that item? God's hand in the chest? Well, it automatically went forward. Yeah, what was it? I also don't have a save after the boss fight. I would have to go back to before the boss fight. I definitely got God's hand already. It was part of the reward for the fight. Is it something that I'm gonna regret? Let's see. Let's see. It was Leviathan scales. Leviathan scales. Sid's triple growth. Oh. What exactly is a Leviathan scales? Which one's that one? Go Google it. What mod is this again? I have the whole list on the YouTube channel, like in the description of the stream. You'll be able to see it. Leviathan scales. FF7. The Chow, so it's a Yuffie. Oh, I need this to unblock the thing for Yuffie, that's right. Can I go back down here? Chat, do you know? Like if I come back, will that chest still be there? Or should I reload and redo the fight? Because I could just redo the fight if I need to. It's not that hard of a fight. Reload. Damn it. It will still be there? Okay. Because yeah, presumably I could just run back down here think. It would be convenient to just get it now, you know? I'm already down here. I have to take several elevators, several godforsaken elevators to get it. So yeah, maybe I'll just go back. Maybe I'll just reload. I'm just having an auto progression right now where I gotta fight these guys. Unless after the fight, it at all lets me go back up. Because obviously it lets me go to that save point. It's gonna let me run to that save point, so maybe it can let me go back up. Remember, you can't get back down the underwater reactor. Come on, Cloud, don't fall behind. Oh shit, ain't that some what? Deja vu. Last time I said those words, I was the leader of this crew. Damn, feels like forever since we stepped off that train. Things change, some for the worse, some for the better. Yeah, what was that turquoise hammer? What the fuck was that? Oh, I can't go back up the ladder. Oh. It's fine. It's fine. My UI mod doesn't have the accents and symbol. Oh, okay. That makes sense. Sorry, Chad. Just needs to redo a little bit. I could maybe run back. There's like, chat has some conflicting feedback on that. We're already down here. It'll be fine. It's pretty fast. It's just amazing that it's a gun, yeah. Let's kill these guys real quick. Oh, I don't think I have speed up. Bridging, you can go back, but if you're worried, you can just lose the submarine battle. I'm glad you were starting so I can take the screenshot. Okay, I won't run past that or skip past, because I'm gonna skip past pretty much all the dialogue and everything. But I'll hold on that one so you can screenshot it. I'll make sure my face isn't blocking it or anything. There was some reason in the OG playthrough that I didn't want to block. I didn't want to block the top left of the screen, but I can't remember what it was. There's something that shows up in the top left of the screen that I didn't want to block, but I can't remember what it. Maybe I can just move my camera up. I don't know. How's my camera placement? Do you think I should just is it good where it is, or should I move it to the top left? I remember there being some reason why I had it in the middle. I can't remember right now. It's fine. Yeah. Okay. Oh, I think some dialogue a lot of times shows up there. Come on. Hey. Hey. It's from DMW and the Crisis Core, yeah. I do remember that, but I'm pretty sure I've had it in this place for all of the OG streams, but... I think my regular attacks probably do more damage than anything other than maybe summons. So in this fight, I could probably just hit it. I could just keep hitting it. Blah, blah. Yeah, dialogue tends to be in the top half of the screen, but unless UI mods change it, they shouldn't reach the 4/3 boundary. Got it. trying to lean back in my chair and I'm realizing I don't have it like reclined at all. So I'm pretty much gonna cast Big Guard and then... Oh, it's called Mighty Guard here. Damn it. Grab Tifa. And... I'll let just be dead. Boss music was one of the best things about this game, yeah. Oh, now Tifa doesn't have Mighty Guard. Come on, let her down. Do I have life at all? I don't. Shitballs. Wait. Here we go. Let's do it again. Do you think FF7 will have all the underwater parts of the game? I think so. There's really not too much for them to include. You know, the sunken Gelnica, underwater reactor, obviously. They've even hinted, I feel like they've talked about the city itself. Like the city was like a floating flotilla with the proper Junon, and then that was sunk. They talk about that in the world intel in Rebirth about the Junon area. So even that will be explorable too. I think we'll most likely have underwater parts if anything, although there remains to be seen. I can see them doing a lot more with the submarine, with acquiring the submarine. You know, it's such a crazy damn thing to get a submarine. So I could see them sort of like making it a bigger thing, just like they made the escape from Corel into such a set piece. I guess it reminds me of the title that I put on the stream. That really wasn't that bad, chat, to get back here. You know, the from filler to thriller, they can really do a lot more with, you know, getting the submarine, fighting off, you know, you might end up fighting off like several subs. I think you do in the original too, actually, when I think about it. But I usually just ignore any of the other subs and I go after the main red submarine. But Underwater Reactor, oh, yeah. Great point, fathers. Yes. That's definitely something they can explore, is that has sunk into the ocean. And so you're just buying time. Oh, that's right. I need to read that stuff. Let's grab these items. And just heal. So Ether. Wrong person. Oh well. But yeah, Reactor is definitely collapsed into the sea, so they will almost funnily do something with that. Even just as a like discoverable little Easter egg. Water God Scale Key Item. The renaming. Hopefully the Ancient Forest. I do hope they do something. Like, it's one of the coolest dungeons. It's unlockable after beating an optional weapon fight. Really, when you think about the world stuff in Disc 2, so much of it is like optional and missable. And so they should, you know, make that something, a lot of things that you can discover if you want to. I mean, we've talked about this like endlessly, but how much Rebirth just hands to you with the lists and, you know, the checklist versus sense of discovery. I do think I hope they live up to that. I know everyone has sort of like assumed that all right, discoveries on the table this time, and not everything's gonna be handed to you on a checklist. We've all kind of assumed it. We don't know for sure, right? But there's so many things that should just be optional, should just reward you for like, what's over there? What's in that cave? If I can get, you know, a chocobo over to that thing. I was kind of mentioning that on Max's stream in chat, where I think he sort of misunderstood the point that I was making, but I was saying there were sort of these Metroidvania type mechanics to the chocobos, and it was something he's talked about before, but this idea of, because right now each zone has like a specified chocobo, but like if in part 3 there's something where you take a chocobo, or you have your probably all your chocobos in the Highwind, and you can take them to different parts in the world and say, okay, I'm going over here in the Nibelheim area, and I'm gonna actually the chocobo that's usually for Nibelheim, I'm not gonna need it here because actually I need the green one, or I forget which color it is, but I'm gonna need the black chocobo in Nibelheim to like scale this mountain, right? Like something that you couldn't do, some level of traversal, taking a chocobo, using their trait that's usually only available in that one region and using it in another region in order to access something, you know? You only need the green chocobo to access Ancient Forest? Oh, really? I could have swore it was like after you defeated Ultima Weapon, it then crashes down into the ground and then you can get to it, but I believe you. I'm sure you're right. That's just how I've always gotten to the Ancient Forest, was like killing the weapon, and then the crater is how I get access to it, but that's how you get it without a chocobo. Got it. Come on, Cloud, don't fall behind. Oh, you getting the screenshot, Cirque? Are you still here? Gonna let it linger for a second so we can get the screenshot of that hilarious. Got it? Okay. Last time I said those words, I was the leader of this crew. Yeah, I'm using the Forbidden UI mod. I know Odie did not approve of my UI mod choice because it could lead to funky things like that. I like the way it looks, so. Hey, feels like forever since we stepped off that train. Things change, some for the better, some for the worse. All right. It'll be fixed eventually. Cool. Cool. That's why you guys have so many updates. Because assholes like me choose the UI, the unsanctioned UI mod. Damn it all. There's no way out. I don't want to die, sir. Pretty much. I've got too many regrets, sir. I still haven't struck that special pose in a real battle, sir. Oh yeah? Then how's your chance to do it? Show me what you're made of. Yes, sir. Final training commence. This is so goofy. This is... everyone's right. This is so the Midgar 7th Infantry. This is so Midgar 7th Infantry coded. These troops. I forgot how goofy they are. I am the cause of the updates, yeah. There you go. That was nothing to regret. Charge! Better take them hostage. This is my crew. I'm not gonna fight them. Oh, the meme. Hold on. I just need to make that clippable so I can turn that into an updated version of the meme for my own enjoyment, for my own amusement. Love that. Battle Commander better be the 7th Infantry on Highway Crew, yeah. Battle Commander is awesome. I love that side quest too, where you like have the, you talk to them after the fact, and they knew. Of course they knew, but that's your crew. These cramped little rooms, the shaking, all the engine noise. Goddamn beep booping, how do we get this thing moving? Hey, something's happened. Guess I'll just keep fiddling with these controls. Hey Cloud, wanna try piloting this thing? Sorry, I'm gonna stand up. I heard you don't get motion sick when you're the one at the wheel. Right, I guess driving will help distract me. Oh, that's right, the motion sickness is really... It's really not an animation that's like... communicates motion sickness very well. Right, I guess driving will help distract me. Just leave the rest to me. Imagine... remake Cloud doing this little... animation. Looks really good with the mods. It really does. It really does. Don't worry. If it stops again, I'll just give it a good smack. Very nice shirt. Yeah, thank you. It's Red 13. Just to make it so you can see it. I really like more minimalist, sort of like designed shirts where it's just like a character and you if you know what it is, you know what it is. I don't like big logos and all that, personally. It's so interesting that Real Cloud has motion sickness, but not Soldier Persona Cloud, yeah. I think I got this shirt on like Redbubble. It's like a lot of those types of like things on, I think it was Redbubble. Come on, you can do it. Well, thank you. I'm so happy to be hostage. Oh, this music is very pleasant, isn't it? Alright, check, give me 1 second. I just need to run to the bathroom real quick. Hold on. This is a nice song. This is a good song for a BRB. You can kind of hear the Yuffie one still, I'm sure, but... So now what? Yeah, let me just double check the controls because it's been a minute. Ascend, y'all left, y'all right. Ascend. All right, so down is up is down, left, right's normal. Triangles move ahead. Move ahead. Square is torpedo. X is move astern. Okay, so reverse. Forward, torpedo, okay. Simple enough. Red Submarine is laden with Magnus materia, is currently en route to Junon's offshore reactor. The boss submarine is being escorted by a fleet of Shinra Navy vessels. Yeah, I was talking about this earlier, right? Like, we're gonna be fighting. In my brain, I always remember the red submarine. I forget that technically there's an entire fleet of Shinra Navy vessels. That's crazy. Like, they're gonna do, that's gonna be crazier than it was here. It'll still be the same thing. You're fighting off, you know, these Shinra Navy vessels that are trying to run defense for the red submarine. But taking those out, it's gonna be a big game, you know? Not a big game, but it's gonna be much more than it feels here. Furthermore, reports indicate that numerous mines have been deployed around the seafloor. These mines can only be detected using special Shinra sonar technology. Refer to the corresponding display to confirm their positions. I don't think I've ever had a playthrough of this where the other vessels pose a problem. They're not. You completely ignore them. The hardest part is not getting lost in the controls, and like hitting the mines and shit. But that's why, I think that's probably why, Lully, that's probably why I forgot about the other submarines. Because they're such a non-presence. You can also get the red sub, but you need to let it escape. What do you mean by you can also get the red sub? Oh, wait, do you mean you can like tick it over? Because yeah, I don't think I've ever let it escape. I'm too much of a fiend. I gotta kill it. The movie monster really nailed this track. Make it sound underwater. It's a hell of a track. And before we get to the elevator down, see underwater stuff. I was already, the elevator's already got the business, so. Colliding with the mine won't inflict severe damage. Yeah, gotcha. Red boss sucks. However, you have 10 minutes. Okay. Should you lose sight of the enemy, press R1 to sweep the sonar. Okay. I really doubt I'll have any problem. We're gonna scuba dive instead. Speaking of scuba diving, and Uncharted, which I mentioned earlier, but Uncharted 4 has a really good scuba diving section. Everything seems good to go. I'm good. What if I completely botch this chat? What if like the pressure of streaming makes me completely botch this? I forgot you can go fast as hell. Shit. Oh shit. Ah shit. As I was saying. Oh my god, I can go way too fast. Okay, cool. There's here, Cody. Say mission commence. It's easy enough. Then you'll have the Scarlet sub of shame if you miss it. The punishment is getting a sub that is cooler. Getting a sub that is cooler color. So you do get the red one. If you botch it, you get the cooler submarine? That's crazy. Gave me 10 minutes. I never need 10 minutes. Come on now. I'm not a noob. Magnus material have sunk to the seafloor. We should probably keep searching for it. Attention all Shinra submarines. Please respond. Attention all Shinra submarines. Why am I saying submarines? Please respond. Must be a Shinra broadcast. Command number 2. What is your status? Well, it must be us. All right, let me give it a shot. Yeah, but then you give up one of the master summons and think, oh, do you? What is the summon that you get from the submarine? Probably read my guide again. Master materia. Got it. There's something to get from the submarine. I know it's obviously the key item and whatnot. What else does it say? Because it's been a minute, chat. Team picks up the radio. Another huge materia headed for Junon Airport. Park the sub. The last time I played this, I ended up just getting the ancient key at the same time. It makes the Return to Forgotten Capital go so fast. But for the sake of this playthrough, I think I'm gonna hold off until the moment comes because I want to see like the hint. I don't want to like accidentally miss dialogue. Odysseus Odie. Yeah, you forgot, bro. Turquoise Hammer has been holding down the fort though. He has a really funny picture of, because of the UI mod that I have, it shows a gun instead of one of the accented letters. So that's a joy. All right, let me give it a shot. This is the Shinra number 2. All clear here. Roger. Transmitting new mission orders. Reports to the Junon Submarine Bay area immediately. Magnus material will be transported via the airport. That's a funny thing. I totally forgot about this. Like, pacing-wise, it's so funny that they have you go chase down this submarine, take it out because it has huge materia, a very valuable item, can't get into the wrong hands, and they immediately are like, yeah, go to the other one. Fuck that one. They literally, you don't have to collect the huge materia in the red submarine if you don't want to. It's so funny, given the like urgency to get this huge materia to take out that submarine. You just leave it in the ocean. All unoccupied units will be assigned to guard duty. Over and out. The Junon Airport. We should make it if we hurry. We'll come back for the max material later. It should be safe in the seafloor. Cloud is literally like, fuck it. Yeah, but then they forget which sub shot the other one down. Bunch of polygonal dummies. Prepare for ascent. Aye, aye, Captain. I'm not doing that. I'm a lot more responsible. I'm a lot more responsible. No. First off, I'm safe. No, this part isn't ropey and gamey at all. You're incorrect. I'm always afraid, though. There he is. There he is. God, chat. The amount of times, how many times did you guys descend into the water and then it was right in front of you? All right, where the hell is the submarine? Oh, it's very dark. Many a jump scare, yeah. Not there. Oh, there it is. So this is that boss sub we sank. What a ride that was. Makes me want to hurl. I was thinking about it. Magnus material successfully recovered. Object appears to have sustained no damage. Oh, what? That's a relief. Obtain the Magnus materia key item. Okay. So let's take stock of where we are. What time is it? 10:14. Okay, 10:14. And what is next? Next is the goddamn spaceship, right? I'm like tempted. Do we do the spaceship tonight? Do we save it? I'm tempted, chat. What's the vibe in chat? Keep going. Stop. I'm asking as if like the chat's gonna say stop. What did I start? I started right before Junon Underwater Reactor. Takes like 10 minutes. It's a little more than that. There's like a lot of like Sid story. Cloud won't have the ability to captain this sub without the live stream sequence. Get all, save the trip to ancient capital. That's a good call. Ancient capital could be the start of next stream. That's a good call, chat. Specifically, let's mosey. Hell of a call. While I'm doing that, I do want to cheat. You got bed in 45? Okay. It should take about that long, maybe at most. Can anybody look up? I'm just gonna cheat. I don't care. What is the code for the spaceship? I don't care. I've played this game a million times. I don't really need to go through the hassle of figuring out that combination again. User Prima Guide? I don't think it says it, actually. I don't think it says it. I actually don't think it says it. I think it just tells you how to figure it out, from what I remember. Maybe it does. Oh, if you give up or you don't want to risk losing the materia, the combination is circle, square, XX. Yeah. It is in the guide. You would think it would be in the guide, but I do remember like several things in the guide not being in the guide that you would think are would be in the guide, but we're not in the guide. So I need to go to the airport. Junon Airport, right? Google gave mixed answers. Yeah. What do we have? It's circle, square, XX. Yeah. Guess we got a choice. If the code is agnostic to what you have, okay, and cancel set to. I have it set to default. So circle is still confirm, X is still cancel. So I think it's the same. I think it's circle, square, XX still. Cross. I always think of it as X. I know it's cross, but I always just call it X. Which I don't call Elon's app. Refuse to call it that stupid name. Even though everything about it's stupid. All right. What are we doing? I don't know why I'm every save point. Why every save? I don't need to do every save point. It's like encoded in my blood. Stop at every save point. Oh, we missed it. Damn it. It's like, so I just ordered a Steam Deck. Can you download and run these mods from the Steam Deck? Or do you have to do it on computer? I really don't know. Big Venus. See, but the way you wrote that name, you know what you're doing. I don't know. I really don't know. I don't have a Steam Deck, so I can't really tell you. There's a version of Seventh Heaven mod manager for Linux, Odie is saying, so apparently. Damn it, the Magnus Materia. We gotta go after them. We don't know where they're headed. Sure we do. Rocket Town. How do you know that name? Damn, we got 2 soldier 3rd classes and brought out the big guns. My bold Cold Spirit got this running on his Steam Deck and was amazed how easy it is. Really? Does he have like as many of the visual mods as I have? Are pretty much all the mods compatible with Linux too? Or I guess it's really the files, right? As long as it can store the files, in theory, it should work. One day one of you will slip with the tongue and Freudian slip and we all laugh and laugh. I pretty much just did it. I didn't say the whole thing, but it started to. Oh shit, it's supposed to go up, aren't I? Oh no, down, down, down. That's right. We're going to under Junon. All the mods work on both. That's great. That's actually really cool. So yeah, Big Pig. That's yeah, that's where you are now. I'm sorry. I can't be caught slipping again. You got me one time, you know, full on me or full on you. Get me, can't be fooled again. Whatever Bush said back in the 2000s. Raqueto. Oh yeah, the stinky duck one. I forgot about that one. It's all these names, man. They're phallic, in a way. Not really, but Big Pigs is. Fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, you ain't gonna get fooled again. Stinky duck, there you are. Yes, you have been summoned because of the slip up when I said your name one time. With it wasn't duck, but it was something that kind of rhymed. What's that young President Rufus doing gathering all those mechanics together? Is Shinra serious about launching that piece of crap rocket? But why now? God, the music, man. Go to the inn first? Okay. A whole bunch of Shinra folks showed up and started fiddling around with the rocket. Oh, precious. Is it gonna be okay? Which one's the inn? Shit, which one's the inn? Which one's the inn? This is weapons. Inn, right? Yeah. Okay. Can I fix this on a drink? Or rather chat. Apparently that Shinra bigwig Palmer has brought a load of troopers to get the rocket ready for launch. Second floor, okay. Even with all that hullabaloo outside, this guy still won't get out of the bathroom. Must be dealing with a real lunker. Oh shit. First of all, are you okay, dude? Occupied. Okay, let's see. The other room? I'm a traveling salesman making my way around the world. It's the kind of guy I am, going where the wind takes me. There are times I miss my family so much it hurts. Which is why I have a favor to ask of you. I'd like you to deliver a letter to my beloved daughter. Do you think you could do that for me? Make sure she gets it. You can find her living in Qhimm. I really appreciate this. Cool. I can just deliver that later, I assume, right, Odie? So it's another one of the, Can you tell me the lore on that again? Were they planned little side quests that they never did, or... I know you explained it last time when we did it the first time, but I forget. Doubt Shear's here. Yeah. Nobody's here. There are unused text and items for the quest, but it was never implemented for whatever reason. Got it. Going to space or giving someone a letter. Choices. Well, in Final Fantasy, sometimes you get a side quest, you just run off and do it. Well, what is that? I'll play this game like so many times. So that's part of Big Pig Venus. That is part of the mod. That's part of the Shinra Archeology mod, the Shinra Archeology Cut. That's the mod that we're playing. That's why here it's called, well, on YouTube, it's called the Restored Secrets Playthrough was what I called it on YouTube. But it's a lot of stuff that was either plans. Odie could probably describe it better in chat, but it's basically things that were either planned and never implemented, or things that were in like written materials that apparently were going to be in the game but weren't included. So it's a lot of like, first of all, there's a retranslation to be clearer, and then there's also just content that was considered but never actually added, or halfway added and you just not finished. And this mod restores that stuff. Ricky Dicky 583. First of all, hello. You think there's a chance we get a part 3 tease for FF7's anniversary at the end of the month? We talked about this earlier. I think there's two things. So if they plan to have a trailer at Summer Games Fest, like way into like summer, or like a May state of play, then I think they could give us like a title reveal, like a video that's just a title reveal on the anniversary. I do think they want it to be a video whenever they reveal the title, because it's sort of a moment, right? So if the plan isn't to show a trailer until summertime, then I can see them doing a reveal of the name on the anniversary. It's a weird anniversary. It's the 29th anniversary, so it's not one that you would do like a big stream for. So I think they would just like drop a video if they did. Otherwise, there's always a Sony State of Play in February. Like February of every year, there's a Sony State of Play. So they could do, if they're planning a trailer at that State of Play, I could see them holding off on announcing something at the anniversary. In which case, I think the most that we would get, I don't know if you've ever seen, but a lot of times the developers will drop like notes on Twitter, usually, or social media in general, like Instagram also, where there'll be like a letter from Nomura, and it'll be like 3 paragraphs, and he'll say something, and he'll be like, development's going well, we can't wait to show you something soon, we're really excited, yada yada. There'll be one from Nomura, there'll be one from Kitase, there'll be one from Hamaguchi, just like celebrating the anniversary and like what they're planning and how they're hoping to sort of like show something soon. And if we get one of those, then I think we get, hopefully, something at a State of Play. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Forgot about the State of Play. Good point. Yeah. Oh, what a spectacle! Is something about to start? How exciting! Laugh my fucking ass off. I wouldn't be shocked if Part 3 is dropped on the 30th anniversary, but I do think they shouldn't wait that long. Do you mean like the actual release? Not like a shadow drop, right? I mean, they should release the game for the 30th anniversary, though. I think so. That makes a lot of sense. Plus, it's, yeah, I think they will drop it next year, though. I mean, to be fair, it hasn't been that long, right? Like, this year is only 2 years since, Rebirth. A lot of big AAA games take at least 3 years. So if you believe what they said about Remake to Rebirth, supposedly it's been a whole year on the DLC for Remake, which I kind of doubt, and then 3 years on Rebirth. But otherwise, it was 2020 to 2024 was 4 years. So if they land in 2027, from 2024 to 2027, it's 3 years. That's pretty good. And about how much time it took them to make Rebirth, if they did take a year making the DLC. Because a lot of other games, God of War, that sequel took 5 years, I think. Horizon sequel took 4 or 5 years. Spider-Man sequel took like 4 or 5 years. They all take about 4 to 5 years these days. It's kind of the norm. Time is so weird these days, I never know anything anymore. Yeah. How many years between remake and remake? It was 4. It was 4. It's a Ceres, they're here. Although the whole, like, post-COVID, like, time felt weird. There was, like, a term for it. I forgot who or what it was called, but it was like, oh, I think it was called the COVID skip, is what people called it. That feeling, like, after 2020, where it was suddenly 2023, but it only felt like a year passed, and you were like, where the hell did those 3 years go? That's, like, a very common thing that people felt. And so it actually got, like, a nickname from, like, sociologists. They called it, like, the COVID skip. It was very weird. Time stopped being real after 2020, yeah. They would have been planning for part 3 in the background during development of Rebirth, surely. Yeah, there's a quote from Nomura in 2022 where he said that he and some of the staff were working on part 3 already back in 2022. I think dropping on 30th anniversary is reasonable considering they're already having most of the world built. It's just like it's also a, like, it just makes sense marketing wise. It's like the 30th anniversary, you know, the final part versus like 29th anniversary or 29th year. It just feels like a missed opportunity. And honestly, take your time, make it as good as it could be. They probably could use a year of polish. So if they drop part 3 on the 30th anniversary and announce Advent Children remake, controversy ensues. Well, I don't think Advent Children's happening, so don't let them take a single step closer. Oh, unit charge, like it already did happen, you know, in the world lore, and we're building off of it. Anyway, that's a whole thing, which I know you know about, but the real question, will part 3 still have some exclusivity? If it's at a state of play, I think that'll be a good sign that it does. Here's the thing. Rebirth also only had 90 days exclusivity. It was just 3 months. If you look at the trailers for Rebirth, there are these like end cards. That's what it's called in advertising, but because I work in marketing, I know this. They had these end cards, and on the end cards, it was like PlayStation exclusive. You know, it had the release date, and then in the fine print, it said not available on other platforms until at least May 29th, 2024. And it came out February 29th, 2024. So that was a 3-month window. It still took 11 months to land on PC, just because it took them extra time to get it onto PC to actually port it. But technically the exclusivity was only 3 months. So I would assume they're planning it to get it closer to that 3-month window, so that hopefully, like I think Max talked about this before, off to bed. All right, good night, Nightbreaker. But Max talked about this before, where he said like hopefully they get it to PC in like 6 months. It would be ideal for them to release it all the platforms at some point next year. So hopefully that's what they end up doing, but yeah, it took longer than 3 months because it just took them time to port it. They really need PC to not take a whole year again. Yeah. Suppose there was an interview with Hamaguchi where he said like they already have other teams like dedicated to working on the ports of Part 3. They already have teams that are like dedicated to that. Like, I think even right now, I do think they're trying to get ahead of it, but they still need to finish the base version first. So, as you mentioned, he thinks the exclusivity deal is still in place for Remake Part 3, but the release window will be even shorter. What's up, Subsex? Hey, what's up, Kofi? So yeah, it could be even 3 months. Even 3 months is really pretty short, you know? So it could be that. Because originally it was 12 months for Remake. Then it was 3 months. They could make it shorter, but at that point, it's almost like nothing, you know? Like at what point even have it? I work in the industry, everyone would be surprised how much exclusivity funds so much of the marketing and sell. But a PSX is still a couple years off, no sense to push exclusivity. The other thing I've heard, Big Pig, is Sony has offered a lot of like help with like optimization, which is why the PlayStation version at least runs so well. Like the frame timing on Rebirth is really good, especially on the PS5 Pro. even if the resolution's not amazing and all that, like it still like runs really smooth. From what I've heard, it's because they have a lot of help with like the actual like code or whatever it takes to optimize it. Like Sony engineers are like involved, you know. It's only to take a single step closer, all units charge. Big Sony money, yeah. Which is ironic, because I don't think like Sony is like probably that happy with the returns either. It's not like either game really sold crazy good. So they spent a lot of money for exclusivity, and it's not like it's made them a ton of money. Because they make a percentage of, you know, whatever the whatever that is. Or sometimes from what I did hear from someone, it was that guy on Twitter who used to work at Square. He said that sometimes the exclusivity deals work so that first you have to repay for the exclusivity, and then you can start making money. So basically, let's say whatever Sony paid for the exclusivity was the equivalent of like the revenue of 3 million units or something. The revenue for that first 3 million would go to Sony before it would go to Square. That's what I heard from him, at least. Not in all cases, but in some exclusivity agreements, it could work like that. So I'm very curious how that money works, but who knows? Prime time for FF7 Remake to sell 13 billion. Obviously, yeah. Like the record industry, then the publisher gets a cut, yeah. That's as far as you go. I won't let you inside. Yeah, I would bet 3 months. I don't think they'll be able to release in every platform at launch. Yeah, I mean, they're just not very good at ports regardless, you know? Like, it takes them a while. Like, this Switch port, they've announced this a while ago. Like, early last year, maybe even earlier. I forget when they... Can somebody look up when they first announced Remake on Switch? Because it's taken a while. Wait up, Cloud. You plan to kick those Shinra shit-eaters off my rocket? Count me in. Alright, so you're on. I'm gonna keep Barrett, because he has so much materia. So I feel like it's taken a while for that Switch version to come out. Shit. What button is that? I'm trying to continue. It looks like the start button, but that's not working. Oh, there we go. Touchpad. Summer 2025 was when it was announced for Switch 2. Okay, so it took like 6 months. All right, like 6 months. 6 months would be perfect for PC. Yeah. I mean, I'm really glad, at least I personally have the PS5 Pro. I ended up like selling my regular PS5 for, well, I sold it to a friend for a pretty decent discount. I think she got it for like $250 for like a little brother. So made a little bit off of it. Like, it wasn't the full cost of the PS5 Pro. Like, it was, I guess, what is it? What was the PS5 Pro? 700 minus 250. I basically paid the price of another PS5. But at least I'll have the Pro for launch, at least, because it does run Rebirth really well. You again. My orders are to neutralize anyone who interferes with Shinra's plan. Sephiroth's plan. Rebirth and Part 3 are the only reasons I want a Pro. Yeah. I mean, well, they are updating PSSR, supposedly, at least. You know, it would be irresponsible for me to say it's, like, super worth it. If you play a lot of the first-party games, they do have some good performance options. Rebirth, obviously, FF7 runs well on it. We're all FF7 fans, so... It's really only if you have the money. My PS5 is on the other side of the planet right now, so I'm waiting for a PC release. Ooh. How's your PC setup where you are? Lolly, is it pretty decent? Frankly, I don't know if my laptop will be able to deal with it. Yeah, laptop gaming with an FF7. You could try Rebirth, see how that plays before so you actually at least know. They'll put it on sale for like a good discount at some point, I'm sure. I feel like the required 20 series cards were like the minimum. I haven't bought those yet. This maybe this next paycheck, yeah. There's no rush. It's plenty of time, so. We get paid monthly. Damn. So you really have to budget wisely. I'll be in the minority and say I don't mind playing on base PS5, 30 FPS, 4K is not a death sentence and look good despite its flaws. You can look past almost all the performance stuff, to a certain extent, you know. You guys, how are you here? Root of the Turk should be taking care of you. Sorry, your man's outside eating dirt. Damn it. Rushed aside of Turk like he was nothing. You're not getting through me. Wow, what a true believer here. Why does he look like that? He was a commander, now he's like one of these dudes. It didn't bother me much. I don't really care about playing with the best specs. Yeah, you can, it's fine. Like I played, obviously, base PS5. I played performance and everybody talked about how terrible it looked on performance. I really didn't notice that much until I got to Gongaga. When I got to Gongaga, those trees were pretty fucking ugly. That's when I switched to quality mode. And then from that point on, I played quality mode on my first playthrough on base PS5. Because by the time I got through Gongaga, my eyes adjusted to the 30 FPS, so. Hey, what are you numbskulls doing in here? Oh, I was wondering what all the ruckus was. Does this mean you're back with us, Captain? I got mixed up when he was talking. Have you heard the news? We're gonna fly this rocket into space, Captain. Huh? What the hell are you on about? They loaded the rocket with a big old materia bomb that plans to crash it straight into that meteor. This is so... I love how, like, the plan is Armageddon. They planned Armageddon. It's just so funny to me still. But you know what? I kind of love Armageddon. It's one of my favorite stupid big blockbuster movies. It's just dumb. And I kind of enjoy it for its stupidity. This rocket of ours is going to save the planet. I don't see no Bruce Willis. Oh man, Bruce Willis, man. I feel bad for him and his family with his Alzheimer's is really bad, apparently. Man, I've never been so stoked. Hang on a second. No, shut it, you. I don't want to hear your crap. How's our girl looking? All right for the most part. He's locked in. Once Sid got in here, he was like, he's no longer part of the party. Once Sid got in here, he's back to his element. He's back to being the leader, the sort of like captain, the pilot of this spaceship. There's just one problem. We want to set the rocket to autopilot and ram it into that meteor, but a vital system's gone down. Malfunction, huh? How's the repair going? Sure is working out as we speak, but you're kidding me. Bunch of babes in the woods. It'll be 100 years before she's finished. Forget about the autopilot. Captain Sid will handle this himself. Chop, chop, start spreading the word. He's just like blinders on at this point. At this point, blinders. Once he's in this cockpit, he's just one with the ship. He's not even thinking logically through everything. He's not thinking about flying the thing on a suicide mission. He's going. Do you think we'll get this version of Sid for part 3? We talked about it a lot already, but yeah, I think once he's in his element, once he's in like Rocket Town, he's reminded of his dream, he's around Shira, I don't think he'll be like as crazy abusive. We'll hear drink your goddamn tea. We'll definitely get that. That's too iconic of a line. Everyone's worried about that line. It'll be fine. They'll include the line. And remember, like, when we played the Rocket Town part earlier, he's just kind of a hard guy where he makes shabs, but he also, like, at one point complimented Shira. He was like, you're too smart to, you know, be fucking around with this. I forget exactly the words he said, but he wasn't totally an asshole. He's just rough in his delivery, and he like he jokes, like, as he pokes at people. He's a lot like my dad, honestly. Like, my IRL dad is kind of like him, in that way, in terms of just like, he will poke you with something really mean, but also it's not totally mean spirited, if that makes sense. I think he showed a bit of that during the Tiny Bronco fight, especially when he's discussing with Barrett, but he seems way nicer in Rebirth. For sure in Rebirth. But remember, he's basically selling his services to these people. He's piloting, you know, he's trying to make money off of them, for one. The Eric's mom thing was weird, because then that's the other reason why he's nice to them, because his, like, memories with Ifalna, which I feel like they didn't fully do something with. Maybe that comes back around in part 3 when he is thinking about Aerith being gone. I don't really know. Yeah. I'm fairly confident that Sid will be rewritten since he was borderline abusive to Shira, and Square will likely want folks to understand that Sid is frustrated, not necessarily an asshole. I think he'll be frustrated. He'll say things in frustration. He'll curse at people, you know, but he's not going to be, like I said, I think people even misunderstand his mean moments in Rocket Town in the OG. When we played it earlier, you know, however many weeks back, there was a couple lines that were a bit, ooh, for sure not. But a lot of the other ones were kind of funny. Like, he was, like I said, poking, but I don't think super mean-spirited, technically. But we'll see. We'll see how they do it. Yeah, when he said, no shit, kids, a Yuffie, yeah. Top shops are spreading the word. Understand, Captain, and good luck. Hey, Sid, what the hell are you thinking? Did you forget what materia are? Each one's like a little library, packed with ancient knowledge. Oh, this is Cloud. Packed with ancient knowledge and wisdom. It needs to borrow that power in order to save the planet from Sephiroth. These Magnus materia are too important to lose. I thought you understood that. Sure, I understand it. I know what precious materia are, and I get where you're coming from, kid. But hear me out. When it comes to saving the world, I don't care how we do it. Hard science or magic little orbs, it don't make no difference to me. But if I gotta put my money on one, you'd best believe it's the former. Humans used to be stuck on the ground, but through the power of science, we've conquered the skies. And now, at long last, we're about to go to space. I do like that you get a peek into his worldview here. You know, with like him, you know, he's everything Cloud and the party want to do is magic, right? Essentially using magic in a way, but he's always been the engineer. He's the pilot. He puts his trust in science in a way. Yeah, there's a difference between obvious tension, resentment, and downright abuse. I hope they'll be better executed, better at executing that bit, for sure. I'm really hopeful. I even think this retranslation even kind of clarified that difference a little bit, from what I remember. I remember it not feeling as harsh when we played it a few weeks back, but it still wasn't perfect, for sure. It was still 90s. It was still, you know, had some of that baggage, but I think there'll be a lot more conscientious of how they pull it off. He updated wall market perfectly. I'm sure they'll handle that well too. Yeah. Again, he hasn't been in Rocket Town. He hasn't been around his triggers. I just don't want to spend too much time on it because I've talked about it multiple times. Other OG streams, Rebirth streams. Like when you first meet Sid, God, his song is so good. When you first meet Sid, it's a really bad day. You're meeting Sid on his very bad, no good bullshit day. Rufus is coming into town. He's preparing mentally to like pitch to try to get the space program back up, but he's thinking about Shinra, and Shinra obviously is sort of the source of a lot of his problems. Obviously Shira is wrapped into that too. So he's, you know, when he's around her, especially on that day, he's very agitated. He's easily agitated on that day. Like the kidnapping of Marlene. Yeah, they also fixed that. They will do the same thing with Sid that they did with Kate Sith. They'll make him forgivable and not have him do something that is unforgivable, like kidnap Marlene. Yes, Sephiroth. 100%. I think you're right on the nail with that. But yeah, in the OG, you meet him on a very bad day, and so he has outbursts on his very bad, no good day. And then that has become the way that we remember Sid. His entire character in so many people's minds becomes that one day and how he is in Rocket Town. When he's not always like that throughout the rest of the game, even before his arc, which is coming up. And now, at long last, we're about to go to space. The way I see it, science is manpower. It's something we created and developed ourselves, and I got a hunch it'll end up saving this planet. Science is what helped me put food on the table, what kept me going when times were tough. But Captain Sid, there ain't nothing greater. Again, very interesting to see his point of view. So quit worrying about what Shinra's up to. We can't always be obsessing over it. I don't want to be sitting around later thinking, damn, I should have done something. Sid, just shut up, no buts. That's funny because Sid doesn't get what Cloud is actually kind of warning him about, but now if you excuse me, I got a job to do here. If you ain't gonna help cook, get the hell out of the kitchen. What was that? Yeah. Palmer, you walking tub of mail, what the hell you done? I heard repairs are finished with the autopilot system, so I launched a ship. That's a great point. That definitely does Kate Sith better. Yeah, I think you can look to Kate Sith as sort of a guide for how they handle Sid. Question for you, subtext. I have a theory that there will be a hub area of sorts for the group to hide and plan. Do you think it'll be Wutai or Rocket Town? I think it'll be Rocket Town. I haven't really thought about it, Kofi, to be honest. So maybe Rocket Town makes more sense just because like Wutai will be involved in war. It could be a whole other location too, you know, if there is a hub. I don't know if they really need a hub. The Highwind, in a lot of ways, is their hub. So I guess we'll find out. I heard repairs are finished. Oh, I already read that. Shit, that dumbass sure. Why'd she pick today to be fast? Yeah, there he's a little... Okay, sorry. Come on, Sid. Damn it, I'm totally locked out. Ain't nothing I could do. Prepare for liftoff. What? No countdown? Talk about unceremonious. Hey, it's the word of the day. Unceremonious. Yeah, and away you go. Yeah, the Highwind is really what I see as the hub. Yeah, it didn't make sense to Reeves' character to kidnap Marlene. Even in the OG, I feel like that was like something they just were problem solving in the moment. And they were like, okay, we'll have him. Why would the party take him back after betraying them? He kidnaps Marlene and holds her for ransom. Okay, that works. Like, genuinely, it could have been that simple. Yeah, the space moment's gonna be interesting. Obviously, there's a lot they could do with space. They could even leverage the tear in the sky, possibly. The perspective that you see from this guy. Yeah. When was the last time I went to space in Final Fantasy FF8? I don't really know. Somebody in chat might know. You definitely go in FF8. I can't remember if you go other times. In 14, you go to space. Not via a rocket, but there is a space portion. I never played 13, so I can't say. 12, I doubt. I never finished 12, because it just lost me. But I doubt it. Finally made it. Outer space. Now, let's see what the course is set to. Oh, shit. Yep, that's right. It's just crashing into the meteor. Yep, she's headed right for the meteor. There's nothing we can do. This keeps up. We're all gonna... I played 12. They don't go to space. It would be weird if they did. Technically 16. Did you, though? Oh, yeah. Kind of. Technically. Yeah. You're right. Yeah, technically, I mean, that was the best scene. The best sequence in 16 involved space. So, yeah, you're right. Tch, that sack of rolls didn't take no chances. He locked us out of the autopilot. There's no changing course. So this is it. Huh? How can you say that? A young buck like you shouldn't give in so easy. I didn't sign a suicide pact with no damn meteor. Here, take a look. This baby's got an escape pod for just such an occasion. I've released a lock on the pod. We'll split right before the rocket hits that meteor. Yo, wait up a second. What about the Magnus Materia? I ain't gonna stop you if you want to go get it. There's a ladder in the room next door. Should lead you right to it. You sure? I don't know. I don't know what I know what I said a minute ago, but maybe all I wanted was to ride this baby to outer space. He got his dream. Dreams are important to FF7, especially the remake trilogy. So why don't you all do whatever seems right? I won't interfere. And you're coming with, so there's also that. This actually is one of my favorite maps in FF7. Yeah, I just really like this room and the ladder for whatever reason. And this is a really cool one too. Magnus Materia. Finally found it. Odie, Turk, if you guys are in chat, I know you guys go to sleep usually by now, but is there any secrets to know or watch out for? Or it's locked up right now. You gotta put the right passcode in this console. It won't open otherwise. Shoot, what was it? Circle, square, XX? I'll try to go off memory first. Hey, Clyde, you know how to use this thing? It's gonna ask you to answer the passcode. Yeah. Once you punch the whole thing in, yada yada. Beats me, try to fit along with it. Okay. Circle, square, X, cross. Yeah, I got it right. Purple Atlantis, Dream Make. Yeah. Damn, that's impressive. You got it in one go. It's almost like you had a strategy guide. Say, you didn't know the passcode beforehand, did you? Don't see it any other way. He actually calls it out. I did know the passcode. I did. Call it soldier intuition, Sid. That's what it was. It was soldier intuition. Shouldn't use the same password for everything, duh. Yeah. They don't even have two-factor. They don't even have two-factor. Oh, there's Shira. I don't know how she keeps surviving in the engine area, because I feel like she should be lit up, but they don't have a cybersecurity team, unfortunately. Yeah, they're really... I mean, they let a bunch of, you know, randoms destroy the reactor, so they're not really that tight on the security. Hey, my leg's pinned. She bought a fire ring. Yeah. Sid. Shit, it ain't budging. Don't worry about Captain Sid. Hurry up and go. This rocket's gonna be knee-deep in meteor. I just can't leave a comrade behind. Him saying comrade, just the word comrade, feels weird coming out of Cloud's mouth. You dumbasses, this ain't no time for brotherly love. Get the hell out of here. Not before I've done what I can. Idiot. You're a grade A genuine numbskull. Tank number 8. It's the one that blew. It really was on the fritz. Shira, you were right all along. Looks like this is the end for Captain Sid. And then Shira busts in. Of course I was right, bitch. Keep talking shit. What a thing to say. Huh? Shira? I decided to tag along, and good thing, someone's gotta save you. You goddamn bonehead. Sorry. Finally, a sorry, you bastard. The escape pod's this way, please hurry. Both of these two apparently can't lift this thing, considering everything else we do up to this point. Yeah. Soldier, superhuman. Can't do it. Well, I guess he's not Soldier, but he does have Genova cells or Genova juice. He's got the Genova juice in his veins. We won't have long once I detach the pod. Hey, Shira, you think this piece of junk will really work? It'll be fine. I've given it a thorough diagnostic. It needs to lift with their legs. Yeah. They skip leg day. I mean, to be fair, Barrett very is upper body for sure. I don't know if we've ever seen Cloud's legs. Do we see Cloud's legs in Costa del Sol? Maybe. Yeah, we see him in his swim trunks, right? They were kind of swiggy, right? I don't remember, but there's nothing to worry about. Thank you. This really is a pretty fast segment. Obviously, this will be like 6 hours in part 3, but by AC Cloud is cutting through buildings. Even at the end of Remake, it was cutting through buildings. Sipping on Genova juice. Laid back. Man, it really happened. The Middies of the Stars. And it really happened. Middies of the Stars. It will be cool to see him, like, really get to be in space and have that reaction, you know? Zack could have lifted it. Genesis could have lifted it. That's when Genesis, chat, we figured it out. Genesis shows up on the spaceship to lift the funky, you know, gas tank thing. But that's where Genesis shows up. We cracked it. Got it. That's where Genesis shows up. Yep, that's it. That's how they integrate him. Integrate? Zack challenges Genova to a squat off. And then Genesis will stay and careen into the meteor. And then that's it. That's the end of the Genesis storyline. That's the great mystery of why they kept Genesis. He comes back for that. See if it could have lifted it too. You chose the wrong party. Yeah, that's a shame on me. Shame on me. Strongest damn character in the game. Did a fantastic job with the way Cloud looks in the remake trilogy. He's more muscle, yeah. While reciting level of signs he can lift by the gift of the goddess, yeah. Just a part of me is like, would Shinra really do this in the remake trilogy? Like the go and attack. It's always funny to me that like Bugenhagen shakes his head as if he expected that to succeed. Just something about that cut especially. Just things about this plan as currently written, this whole plan by Shinra and the way it's executed, just on paper, doesn't make a ton of sense. You know, like I kind of get it's a big materia, maybe it could do damage. Everything feels hasty. Like all the logic of this section feels kind of hasty. It's always felt that way to me. I don't know if it's felt that way to you guys, but like this is one of those things that is sort of like yada yada over, where it's like it kind of makes sense if you don't think about it too much, or not even makes sense, but like it doesn't bother me that much if I don't think about it too much. So I just kind of roll with it. That's part of the game, is what it is. It's like not offensive, but it's just like, especially I think I have to, I feel like they have to rewrite a lot of this. And now there's gonna be like the Wutai Shinra Wars, so they're gonna be distracted with the Wutai thing. Obviously Meteor is gonna be a threat, but I don't know, just how they get all of these things working. This always felt clunky. This part of it always felt clunky. Like, you come off such a tremendous moment with the live stream sequence, and then the moments that immediately follow are like pretty clunky up until Returns of Forgotten Capital. Then it feels like we're back on track. Once we go to Bugenhagen, go back to Forgotten Capital, it feels like, okay, now the plot is back to where it sort of should have been. You know? The huge material plot sucks, I can't lie. Yeah. Big things to make Shinra's motives more clear. Yeah. It's a mystical meteor, so I don't know if the plan makes much sense. Yeah. I can see it being a might is right kind of nonsense, like, see, you need us. Yeah. No discussion about potential failure until it fails. Yeah. That was always odd. It was Shinra trying to stop Meteor. Why would the party stop Shinra from stopping Meteor? Technically, we stopped them because we want to save the like waste of the huge materia. But then, like, even if you succeed as the player, because you could fail, but even if you succeed and you get the huge materia back, all you do is take the huge materia, take it to Bugenhagen's attic, and then get a really good summon, another really good Bahamut out of it, and then it's never talked about again. That plot line completely goes away. It's like the MacGuffin of FF7. Like, everything huge materia is like the ultimate MacGuffin that they just needed to like get to some resolution on. They eventually do here, and then they just put it to bed. Because the party's only trying to stop them because it gets us from point A to point B, because otherwise they're like, man, would be great if they succeed. Yeah. It's the clunkiest part of the OG. For sure. Which is another reason why I think Lily said it earlier in chat, and a lot of people have said it. I've said it too. Like part 3 has the most opportunity for rewriting, not just because of the stuff that they've done with the remixing in part 1 and part 2. So many things in Disc 2 are, specifically the huge material plotline is clunky. But now they have the Wutai War. Now they have obviously all the Zack stuff. They have a lot of other things that they can work into these gaps. But I do think they need to go to space. I just don't know how they get the party to go to space. It's like too iconic of a set piece to cut, but it technically relies on the huge material plot line, which doesn't make sense. So maybe they go to space for a different reason. I don't know how they do it. I feel like it's too important to cut as like an event. Going to space, Sid going to space, realizing his dream, having his arc. It's like important, but everything that makes it happen in the OG kind of doesn't need to happen. There's a giant rift in the sky. Maybe they aim for that. I don't know. I think they're way too. There's way too much introduced that we're not going to spend most of what people. That we're not going to get what most people are expecting from OG. I feel like if huge materia plotline is rewritten heavily and gets replaced with like Wutai War stuff, you know, as long as you like go to space, as long as you get the submarine, I think everyone will be like okay with it. You know. I think everyone just physically wants to go to space and wants to get the submarine for like exploration purposes. But how both of those events happen is up for grabs. I think they're free to rewrite that as much as they want. I don't think anybody really cares about how we get to space or how we get the submarine, as long as we get to space and get the submarine. I'm pretty sure the whole Sid plot line will be greatly expanded. Yeah. Right, like I think a lot of the major plot points are going to be written to a point of being totally different and more like a reference, if that makes sense. Yeah. If they give us a tiny bit of space exploration, I would lose it. I'm really excited. I know we keep talking about space. I don't know if everybody here was here at the start of stream, but I mentioned that when we finish FF7 OG, we're going to play FF8. And obviously there's a big space sequence there that we just talked about, just to mention it, because I am excited about revisiting that game. I don't remember much. I remember space, I remember the Ragnarok, I remember time nonsense, I remember orphanage stuff, but a lot of core details of the plot I don't remember. Space sequence from 8 is better. Yeah, it's like the big love moment. Yeah. Rufus's plan was a failure. Hate to admit it, but I was hoping it'd work. We've gotten their way at just about... It always sounds Canadian. At just about every turn. No, that we had any choice, mind. But it makes you wonder, could we have been wrong? I'm totally butchering that accent, but it's already written in with an accent, so I feel like I need to read it with an accent. It's hard not to worry. He's actually doing a kid for him. It's a mess. We can't worry. We need to think. I'll get back to chat after I finish this scene. Lady's right. You let yourselves worry, and there'll be no end to it. Things will just fall apart and no more. Things will just fall apart more and more until there's nothing left. Pretty optimistic coming from you. Been doing some soul searching? Sure have. Couldn't help it looking down at the planet from outer space. And then after we hit the ocean, bobbing around in that escape pod. Oh, this is where he says the planet's like a sick kid, right? Is this where he says it? I can't remember. I know the retranslation is different, so it may not be exactly the same, but I've been thinking too. Outer space, the planet, the ocean. Everything's so big and vast. It's like, no matter where I go or what I do, there's no way it can make a difference. Maybe so. But old Sid came to a different conclusion. See, I always thought the planet was so huge, practically infinite. But looking down at it from space, so it's tiny. Just an itty-bitty orb spinning through the dark. It looks so lonely. Yeah, that reminds me of one of my favorite, like, poems or short things of the Pale Blue Dot. I don't know if you've all read or listened to the Pale Blue Dot, but it's so good. What's worse, it's sick. Son of a bitch Sephiroth buried himself inside it like some kind of parasite. So you see, this planet's like a little kid. Little kid, sick and shivering in the vastness of space. Somebody's got to protect it. See where I'm going? That somebody is us. That was kind of beautiful, Sid. Where the fuck did that come from? Hey, Sid, you even got me misty-eyed. Don't stop now. Tell us your plan. How are we gonna protect the planet from that meteor? I love this. I love that the music just cuts. And he's like, still figuring that out. It's really good comedic timing for like a 90s game. Oh, no more music comes. The music doesn't come back. Kind of feel sad all of a sudden. Cloud, what do we do? We have to think. Actually, let me catch up with chat. Before I read, I'm going to talk to all these guys, save, and we'll call it for the night. But let me just catch up with stuff in chat. Agreed. I think they could do it. Huge material could be rewritten, honestly. Yeah, Space Sequence. We talked about that. Hoping Sid gets a really tragic arc about Shira and his dreams of space that results in him cussing again. I also wouldn't put it past them to give us something similar to 13-2. I haven't played the 13 games, but with entering different timelines, I mean, it's the same devs, so they could do that to find answers or the best choices. But with an open world map, that might be too difficult. I don't have that experience. I haven't played 13. I kind of feel like I should play the 13 trilogy before part 3, just to see what the antics that these devs have gotten into. I've kind of been afraid of it spoiling me a little bit. Like if I see it in part 3 and I'm like, oh, it's like the 13 thing. Like it almost like not feeling as compelling because it might be a repeat. Which would be true for a lot of people who have experienced 13. That's truthfully a reason I haven't gone and played 13, even though I know there's a lot of similarities. I'm almost afraid of being both pre-spoiled and sort of, I guess you could say pessimistic, or I don't know. I don't know how to phrase it, but you get what I'm going for. Nomura already said numerous times that his mandate in the remake trilogy is that nothing from the OG gets cut. So I think Space and Submarine. Yeah, I mean, the thing he said is like no location will be cut. And so I think like big events for the most part will stay, but the things that make them happen, the events that lead to them can be different. And even the things happening during those events could be different, right? I can see the party throw their hands up in frustration, like the people in Spike Lee's do the right thing. One said, hey, what's up, Sleepy? What's going on? We're going to wrap up stream soon, but we just got finished with the space stuff. You missed a really good conversation, Sleep Easy. We're basically talking about the huge material plotline doesn't make a ton of sense. It almost feels like an extended side quest, and it really does feel in a lot of ways like filler, especially given what the Magnus Materia is and the size of it and everything in the remake trilogy, well, established in Rebirth. Long story short, we're talking about this part has the most opportunity for outright rewriting. We'll still go to space, we'll still get the submarine, but the reason we go to space, the way we get the submarine, all that could be pretty different. I do think the underwater reactor could be where Scarlet is like synthesizing that materia that she's synthesizing in remake part 1. Remember, there's that scene where she's using the guy as a footstool and they failed to make the materia. She could be synthesizing like the equivalent of that Magnus materia, maybe in the underwater reactor. So maybe that stays somewhat the same, but long story short, I feel like they could rewrite a lot of this because it feels like the story really comes back and picks back up with the return to Forgotten Capital, return to Midgar, and then obviously the ending. But everything about the writing and the logic of the huge materia plotline has never really made a ton of sense. Especially given all the new stuff they have to wrap in, they can end up rewriting a lot of this to include Wutai, all that stuff. Zack, everything. There's a lot of wishful thinking of compilation locations being added. I don't see many happening, maybe only Benora. But there's also, they could do that. They could explore Benora. They could explore, you know, some of that stuff for sure. Told you, I'm still figuring things out. Wishing alone won't get us anywhere. Frustrating, isn't it, Cloud? Right, we gotta think of something to do. It's not like I can understand where the president is coming from. But I kind of get the feeling he's rushing things. Huh? Oh, what happens here? I forget what happened here. Oh, he remembers Bugenhagen. We gotta talk to Bugenhagen. Oh, we hear the noise. That's right. That noise. Do you guys hear that? Man, we're gonna get whisper nonsense here. Crazy that this one got turned into 2 games worth of material and was to do all of this too in the final battle in 1. Yeah. But granted, the huge materia really isn't crazy. I was dooming over that. Sure. The fact that it's all of this too. I did a thing where I counted the pages in the walkthrough. Like the literal this thing. And part 1 is like 40 something pages of the guide. Part 2 is like 53 pages of the guide or something like that. And then like part 3, weirdly enough, is actually shorter. It's like 49 pages. And we have been moving through disc 2 pretty quick. Like surprisingly quick. Faster than I expected. The only thing is we have none of the Wutai stuff, none of the Zack stuff, so all that would have to be wrapped in there. And a strategy guide is in like a 1-to-1, but like it's kind of roughly equivalent of the first 2 games, so it's not that surprising. Maybe Odie is saying disc 1 is like 70% of the game. Really? In what way? Like written dialogue or something? Or that feels a little too high, but I mean, if anybody knows it, it's you, Odie. You wrote this. I mean, you worked on this whole mod. You're in those files like crazy. Yeah, disc 3 is just a dungeon and side stuff. Yeah, Amaguchi said this game will be everything we want it to be and more, so I'm not underestimating them. I think they'll add a bunch of new locations and stuff. FMVs, yeah. Rise of the other planets. Or maybe that's meteors? Or is it our planets? Other planets, that's weird. Our planets, I'm sure of it. Odie, do you have any, like, perspective on that line? Other planets. Oh, I don't know. Hey, where did we even learn about these cries in the first place? Did you forget? It was Bugenhagen. He told us all about it. Bugenhagen? Say, we should pay Gramps a visit. Come on, let's go to Cosmo Canyon. I'm sure he'll be able to teach us something useful. Yeah, this time. Maybe he'll teach us something this time. Old, cranky Tifa hater. But I gotta save. Stream buffered bad. So there was a line where Tifa said, she was talking about the cries. She was like, is that the cries of other planets? Or our planet? Or the live stream, something like that? But like the line of like, cries of other planets, and then Cloud was like, our planet for sure. But the fact that it was up for debate, I just found that interesting. I didn't know what to really make of it. Just even the consideration of other planets was interesting. Because presumably she knew about Bugenhagen's explanation of the cries, so it was just kind of weird as a line. Cool. So we got through a bunch. So next up we have Returns of Bugenhagen, which is Return to Forgotten Capital. And then pretty much Returns to Midgar. Might even get to Return to Midgar next stream. That's very possible. And very exciting. Let's go let this linger a little bit. But thank you so much, everybody, for hanging out. Let me also... Oh, shit. I was hoping for, like, the nice cinematic ending. Yes, thank you so much for hanging out. Again, the Patreon, if you're interested, you can find all the stuff there. Patreon.com/subtext. Thank you all for hanging out. Sunday is the next stream. Hang on just a minute, everybody on Twitch. Odie saying in OG, Bugenhagen also brings up other planets first when he's showing his telescope. All later material. Stops caring about that thought though. Got it. Okay. So I'm gonna check if anybody is streaming on Twitch to raid into. So if you're on Twitch, just hang out for a second. Oh, let's jump over to Jess Capricorn. I'm a big fan of Jess. She inspired, in a lot of ways, my FF8 curiosity, because she loves it, I know, and she's just a really awesome creator. So we'll jump over to Jess. Thank you so much for hanging out. Odie, Jake Lloyd, Chris. I don't know if Sephiroth is still around. I know it's getting late for her. Labib Zahid, Lovely Joe, thank you so much for hanging out. Ricky Dicky, Kofi, Odie. Also, to give you slightly more objective metric in our spreadsheet for Shinra Archeology Cut, the main plot is across 43 tabs. Disc 1 ends on tab 29. Very interesting. I would have never guessed that. Although now playing it again, I can see that. Let me grab Jess Capricorn. Start raid. Okay. So it takes a couple seconds to like load everybody up. But thank you all so much. Sunday, we'll be back. Crisis Core and Nier. I know we chat a lot on our streams. Obviously, I can't help myself. We chat a ton, so there will be some chat. But I'm not planning any big content ahead of time other than the game. So we're probably gonna start stream with a little chit chat, of course. And then we'll jump into Nier, my very first time with Nier Replicant. I'm really excited to just check that game out. Everyone's hyped it up like hell. Obviously Nier Automata is obviously huge, but like I'm gonna start with the first one. Anyway, thank you all so much. We are raiding now. I will see you all Sunday. Talk to you later.